Good afternoon and welcome to Hill Stadium in Saco and CTV 30's coverage of Thornton Academy High School football. Hello everybody, I'm Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette as we get set for 3-1 Thornton Academy hosting the 2-2 Sanford Redskins. A big game here today, Marc, as you look at these two teams. Sanford, of course, with a big win last year in Sanford. They had lost 33 straight games in Western A, dating over 5 years, and they were down and ready to lose again, but then that miraculous play, the last play of the game, a 67-yard pass to Little, they come away victorious and certainly propelled them into a nice end of the season. They won 3 games last year, made the postseason, and this year at 2-2, the confidence that came from that game, and Thornton Academy certainly knows that and are ready to do a little payback here today.
Well, I would think that the Trojans are ready to play this afternoon. As they were going off of passes here on the sideline, we asked a couple of them, you guys ready? And very quietly they said, yes, we are. They are prepared to play 4 quarters of football. Sanford now is a team that no longer is overlooked. They have the respect at 2-2, and really looking like a playoff team thus far this season. Important game for the Trojans. They have to come in, get the job done. After this game, the next couple of weeks on the schedule, a little light, so a real important game for the Trojans here this afternoon.
You look at common opponents, you only have to go back to last week. Thornton Academy winning in overtime against Marshwood, 14-13. The week before, Sanford goes down there and beats the Hawks on their homecoming, 18-12. So Sanford certainly can play, and Thornton knows this and should be ready.
I think Thornton will be ready. The one thing that was different is in the Sanford game, Marshwood went away from what they do well, and that's power football. Last week, they wanted to get the pride back, confidence factor back, and that really says a lot of how Thornton Academy played defensively. This defense is ranked second in the conference in total points scored. They've done it every game this year, and we expect them to do it again this afternoon.
Well, you look at Thornton Academy's offense, and certainly it has been the running of their backfield, and all 3 of them, Thompson, True, Demers, and Mercia, should say 4 now. And, of course, Chris Duranzo having a very good week last week, throwing the football and directing the offense, so they got to be feeling very confident right now. Sanford, a team that doesn't run that much, they like to do it up on top. Zach Matthews, a 3-year starter. He's got the players in Tom Little and Toulouse to throw to. They're a very good team, and they can throw the football, and Thornton Academy's defense should be tested in the secondary today.
It's going to be a different kind of test. We know Thornton Academy thus far this season in the first 4 games has been able to shut down the rushing game of the opponents. Now today we've been saying how great their secondary is. They're going to have a chance to prove it here this afternoon because Matthews and Toulouse are definitely a formidable passing team, and we're going to see if the Trojans can come up and put the stop on them.
Now, of course, this Game 5, usually homecoming. Years past, we always played Sanford for homecoming. This year, it's not homecoming, but it has that feel with the opening of the new building and all the alumni gathered here and some class reunions going on. And the weather, you couldn't ask for more football-ish weather. It's nice and cool and brisk, and it's game day.
It certainly is game day, and as you said, with the festivities, there is an electricity in the air. And I think a lot of Thornton Academy football faithful are here saying we want to see how the team bounces back, to see how they perform, not only after a big win, but after a very disappointing loss last year to these Redskins.
All right, it's 3-1 Thornton Academy facing 2-2 Sanford. We'll take a break. Back with our opening kickoff right after this.
My family's affiliation with the Saco and Benefit Savings Bank goes back at least 100 years. My grandmother made deposits at the bank, including one from me when I was born. Our family has done business with the bank for over 4 generations. Why? Because Saco and Benefit Savings Bank is a very human place. One is not a mere account number, but a person treated with respect and appreciation.
Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette as we get set for Thornton Academy and Sanford. The starters being introduced now for the Golden Trojans, and our offensive unit being introduced today. Run them down for you in our own order here. Travis Roy, the tri-captain center, 5'10", 205 senior. On the right side, it's senior Jim Bouffard. He wears number 58, 6-footer, 200 pounds. The right tackle, Daryl Rondo. Rondo 5'11", 215, and a junior. Over on the left side, it's Noel Heidish. Heidish 5'9", 230 pounds, and he's a junior. He wears number 66. Next to him at left tackle, Jason Grantham. Grantham, a 6 foot 185 junior. And at tight end, number 32, Josh Gregoire. Gregoire, 6 foot 170 and a sophomore. In the backfield, at split end, number 28, Ricky Sorois. Sorois, 5'11", 155 and a junior. And then the quarterback, senior Chris Duranzo. He wears number 12, 5'10", 175 and a senior. At Z-back, it's Chris Mercier, 5'6", 155. And it's the seniors, Brian Thompson, 5'9", 185, and Ryan True, number 20, 6 foot 215 and a senior. Golden Trojans of Thornton Academy taking on the Redskins of Sanford. Thornton Academy bringing back a band of sorts. There's about 7 members down there, up from a couple of weeks ago when they had 4 down there. We got a tour of the new building today. Of course, the auditorium and the videography room, the dance studio. The list goes on just amazing what they've brought in here for arts and offering to the student. Of course, speaking of arts, of course, the arts rooms that are also included inside the new building. And talking with the Alumni Association, saying about the band, you know, it's been a drastic fall off over the years, and it's too bad. That's something we're all guilty of, I think, being a former athlete, Mark. We always made fun of the band members, but as you get older, you realize how critical and how talented and brilliant those people are that play in the band, and you just wish it would grow and come back to the community of Saco. And she's had a lot to do with the community and the city of Saco making budget cuts and cutting music and arts out of the lower grade levels, and that affects Thornton Academy here at the high school level, not able to put together enough people for a band. And maybe with this new facility that will inspire the city of Saco and more youngsters to get involved in band. I think it's the greatest thing you could give your children is the ability to learn and play at least one instrument. It's going to be a political afternoon. I can feel it already, Paquette.
I'm going to try to stay neutral.
The Redskins will kick off. Toulouse will do the kicking. Back deep to receive is Chris Mercier. They punch it up the middle. It bounces and fielded by Dave Booten at the 20. Booten breaks one tackle and almost bounces outside. Some big blocks down in there. And Booten gets it out to the 30-yard line. And this field is just in magnificent shape. And the colors on the field, the Trojan head and the lines, very bright and colorful. It's just a perfect afternoon for football.
And we have a great vantage point, obviously, from up here, but I feel this is definitely one of the most beautiful fields in the state of Maine as far as a football facility.
Golden Trojans start first down and 10. Duranzo brings them out in the eye. Up the middle, Brian Thompson into the secondary, punishing would-be tacklers out over the 40-yard line, brought down by Matthews.
And Sanford sends a linebacker on a blitz up the middle, and he runs right by Thompson. And that helped the Trojans find a hole and move the chains.
Well, Thornton Academy, no shortage of yards on the ground the last couple of weeks, and they've been doing it in very diverse form. Second down, they counter with Mercier. Mercier trying to bounce it outside. Hackett able to get a hold and pull him down. And they're going to call a penalty way behind the play, downfield, and I believe against Thornton Academy. And this will be a very costly penalty if it's against the Golden Trojans.
And that goes as one of those penalties, Jay. You have a run to the left side, and the penalty's occurring 10 or 15 yards down the field in the middle of the field, where really doesn't have an effect on the play. So as a coach, I'm sure Dick Agresti right now is asking why.
That's almost one of those calls, too, as an official you might overlook because it had no relevance on the play. The ball carrier was being brought down as the hold occurred. I believe it was on Ryan True downfield trying to block. So the Trojans, after a beautiful first down run, come back out on first down and commit a very costly penalty. Ball at their own 32-yard line, first down and 20. Again, the blitz coming, it's picked up. Thompson fumbles the ball. And I believe the Redskins got it. They do.
Once again, Little on a blitz. Thompson tries to bounce it to the outside, and similar to what we saw last week against Marshwood, the Sanford tackler is stripping ball, and they pounce on it. A big turnover here, right down deep in Thornton Academy side of the field.
Andy Kalman, 6'2" junior, picked up the loose ball. Duranzo almost had a chance to get back in and recover that ball, but the Redskins there, and they have the first turnover and a big opportunity, and how quickly things can change. First down 10 yards, you look like you're off to the races already. Penalty, turnover. And now you got to scramble to play defense. Pitch back to Little. Little bounces outside. He'll have about 3. Brought down out there by Justin Allen.
And right now, Little is down on the field. And Sanford did a real nice job that time of pushing the defensive end for the Trojans in. It looked like the corner was going to be there, but a fine job by the secondary to come up and stop him for a short gain.
10:40 to play in the first quarter. 3-1 Thornton Academy hosting 2-2 Sanford. No score, but the Redskins have a big early turnover and trying to capitalize right now. But more importantly for them, their senior tailback down on the field, and let's hope nothing serious. He is an integral part of this Sanford Redskin team, a team that came out and very disappointing in their opening season contest where they lost to Bonnie Eagle and then bounced back, beating, I believe it was Coney, the Eastern team, and then came back with the impressive win over Marshwood, and then lost last week to the team to beat in Western A, by far the South Portland Red Riots, 42-0 winners over Lewiston last night. People that aren't clever reading the York County edition might succumb to the erroneous reporting of that contest, having it 42-0 Lewiston. But then if you look at the box score, a guy named Cook and a guy named Lawson scoring the touchdowns. Of course, they play for South Portland, and it was easy to figure out that the Red Riots easily over the Lewiston Blue Devils.
Yeah, you actually 42-0 Lewiston over South Portland. You'd have to start asking yourself, wait a minute, this has to be a mistake. And the Red Riots, Jay, are definitely a team that is for real. They're going to defend their championship. Preseason poll had them at 8-0, and what they basically said is these guys are the champions, and until someone is able to come up and beat them, we are going to say they're going to do it again this year. Thus far, proving everybody correct.
Up the middle handoff, Kalman very close to a first down. Brought down by Grantham. But that'll bring up a third and very short, in Sanford in 4-down territory. Little able to come back into the lineup, so good news for the Redskins. Toulouse comes to the near side of the field. Jones in slot left formation, overload to the left side. And they go to the right side. Kalman fighting and think he'll have enough.
Just needed to get to the 30. Excuse me, the 20-yard line, starting from the 30. He should have enough.
A very tough spot. We saw many favorable spots last week down at Marshwood for the home team. Right there, Sanford not getting a very positive spot, and they'll face a 4th in about 6 inches. The Trojans try to come up with something big here. You need a blitz, and you need to blitz in the right place, and it's too late, too slow. Silent count, great call. Matthews plunges forward for a gain of about 3 and an easy first down.
Well, that's what you do. You come to the line of scrimmage as a quarterback, you check where your gaps are, and then just lift up on the center's backside. He snaps the ball, and before the defense is able to get that potential, that surge, you picking up enough for the first down. Thornton Academy, Jay, right now appears to be sleepwalking on the field. We saw Sanford down there on the sidelines. They are intense. They're ready to play. The Trojans have to match that intensity.
Little finds some hole. He still fights, and they blow it dead at about the 13-yard line. Pickup of 4 yards on the play. Little, an exceptional running back, and we talked about at the opening of our telecast the fact that Sanford likes to throw the football, but Little's a 3-year starter, as is Matthews, and these two can do it in many different ways. Sanford, by no means just a passing team, but that's where they've had their most success so far this season. Kalman breaks off the right side, and the Trojans are there to meet him, but again, Redskins are bouncing off and getting that extra yard or two, and it's not going to be an easy task for the Trojans unless they start wrapping some arms and holding on to that ball carrier.
And fortunately that time, gang tackling, they did get the support from linebackers and corners. And let's see if they hook up Toulouse on the near side of the field, drawing single coverage. Mercia.
Well, Mercia is about 5'5½", and Toulouse 6'3", so there is a size advantage here. No flag comes out. And a running play, and that's going to give the Redskins a first down and goal to go at about the 6.5, 7-yard line. The Redskins with a nice hole up the middle. Thornton Academy thinking pass, and they get stuffed right up the middle. I believe this is a first down. They're going to bring out the chains now. We'll see. Be very close. If not, it'll be the second consecutive. This may be the longest 30-yard drive in the history of high school football here. If they have to go for it on 4th down, and then if they took 4 more plays, they could have a 12-play, 30-yard drive.
That would have an interesting ring to it.
We saw one of the longest drives that we've witnessed as broadcasters of high school football. It is enough for the first down, so my eye's working well here so far. 7:37 to play in the opening quarter. The Redskins trying to capitalize on the turnover by the Golden Trojans on their 3rd play from scrimmage. Toulouse goes to the far side. Kalman and Little in the eye. Kalman stood up right at the line of scrimmage, but able to fight forward for a gain of about 1.
The going on the inside now obviously is going to be a little tougher. Thornton Academy going with a goal line set. And interestingly enough, we expected to see Sanford have to put the ball in the air, thus far not having to do that.
Toulouse comes over to Chris Mercia's side. Again, Mercia locked up with sole coverage. And there's that penalty we've seen so much this season, committed by the offense. A team driving, a team on the move, and a big, big penalty that really has squelched the chances of the offensive unit. So Thornton shifts back out of their goal line defense now and comes back with their regular D. Ryan True bouncing back from his bout with bronchitis last week. Starting on defense, and Trojans now looking to hold the Redskins from a goal line situation. First pass, the slant over the middle, and almost connected as Allen comes in just a split second behind the possible reception by Toulouse, a ball that he definitely could have had.
That was definitely there. And what the Trojans need is the linebackers to drop back in their zones with the hands up. Toulouse making one little move to the outside, cutting it over the middle. And that was definitely there, Jay.
Interesting point you brought up at the opening as well is the fact that Thornton's secondary has really not been tested that much and maybe a little rusty. And, you know, if you're not thrown against a lot, you kind of become run-oriented to stop the run. And next thing you know, a team throws, you're a little slow to adjust to that. Draw play with Little and the Thornton Academy defense all converge. A great job. Travis Roy, Travis Topham. I believe that's Del Rondo also right in the midst of things. And that'll bring up a 4th and 10. And I was going to say that earlier. Sanford has, for years now, had great field goal, extra point kickers. And I wouldn't be surprised to see them go to a field goal opportunity here. And sure enough, out comes the kicker.
He's got the wind at his back.
It'll be a 26-yarder. Good snap. Good pressure up the middle. And the Golden Trojans shut down the Redskins. Travis Ward busting up the middle. And he really came right into the face of boys, and he botched it off to the right side. And great penetration by Travis Roy.
Penetration, once again, the word. The leadership there from Roy. And Thornton Academy dodging a bullet there, giving the Redskins the ball at the 30. The defense, once again, has come up big.
Well, that is a huge momentum shift right there. All the momentum swings back to the Golden Trojans. Second possession, they start from their own 20. A nice play. Excellent penetration by Kalman as he comes in and just levels Thompson. And that play just, there's a good kick-out block by the tackle, but the guard not executing his block, being pushed back into the hole, and Thompson gets kind of sandwiched in between the two blocks.
And the Trojans have been affected using that trap play, but the big penetration there by Coleman.
2nd and 10. Pitch goes to True. True comes inside. Toulouse able to bring him down after a gain of about 4.
And I'm sure you've noticed thus far, Sanford, just prior to the snap of the ball, sending a couple guys right up on the line of scrimmage, doing a lot of blitzing. And the way you can counterattack that, if you're a Trojan, is to throw some quick passes down the field, over the middle, make them pay for those blitzes.
3rd down and 6. Mercier comes to slot right formation. Tripp comes to the near side of the field, and Ryan True in the slot left now comes in motion. Taranto to throw. He has Mercier open, but has to lead him a little bit further to the right than I think he wanted to, but the defender was coming up with a hand in his face.
And that defender, once again, was Little on a blitz from his linebacker spot.
So that puts Thornton Academy in a punting situation and gives Sanford a lot of credit. They've come here to play today, and you could see it from their motions to start the game and on the sidelines. They're a team that believes in themselves and a team that hasn't won at Thornton's Field in probably a decade or two. I cannot remember the last time a Redskin team won here. And that's going to be blocked, and somehow it got squirted out of there.
I don't know how that was not blocked, Jay. Unbelievable.
And Booten really, I mentioned this earlier, he takes a little too much time, it appears to me. But again, he's got to be aware of that rush, and if you see a pressure coming in, you got to speed up your punt. You got to shorten your steps and get it off quicker. And so far, he's been unable to do that, and he's been very fortunate. He's only had 1 block so far this year.
And Tadaris for Sanford, big number 67, coming up the field, helmet in hands, just saying, how did I miss that ball?
I think it went right over his helmet, right between his arms. 1st and 10, Matthews will throw. Has time, airing it out deep down the field. Allen getting back there, and my goodness, Toulouse almost just outran Allen and made a spectacular catch down there. Justin Allen with spectacular coverage, but that ball just laid out there so nice, and Again, you see how Toulouse goes to the football.
Straight fly down the field by Toulouse, and you and I are down on the sidelines prior to the game watching Matthews throw the ball. Kid throws a very nice pass.
Very tight spiral, and he can air it out as witnessed right there. That'll bring up a 2nd down and 10. And again, Allen had really good coverage. I didn't think Toulouse was going to be able to get near that, but he nearly had it. He's had 2 now come in and out of his fingertips, and usually good receivers can still overcome that and get their confidence back. 2nd down handoff, and right there is Jim Bouffard. Hello.
How do you do?
Vallely, number 35, the ball carrier. No gain on the play. And Jim Bouffard has done a sensational job so far this year, going both ways, especially in that offensive line. That's where he calls home. And defensively, he mixes it up. He comes in and out. Coach Agresti using 4 or 5 different tackles throughout the course of a ball game. And Bouffard is starting to log more and more minutes defensively. Played there a lot last year, and that was a huge tackle. 3rd down and a little more than 10. Matthews to throw. Pressure. Steps up, fires downfield, overthrown, picked off. Josh Farron. Trojans get a couple of good blocks, and Farron gets sandwiched, but he'll get it out to the 49-yard line.
Ryan True from his right defensive end spot puts the pressure on Matthews. He forces him to step up into the pocket. Duras was there. He had to throw the ball a little early, and the delivery was high. Great job once again by the Trojan defense.
And again, that secondary knows how to catch the football. Farron, no mistakes there. Up, catches it cleanly with the hands, and that's what you like to see. Didn't try to use the pads, just went up with the hands, caught it, and then some nice blocks, Thornton Academy, and allows Farron to get it out to the 49-yard line, 1st down and 10. The Trojans' 3rd possession here in the 1st quarter. Duranso on the option, cuts up inside, and nice cut there by Duranso. He'll get about 4. Nothing wrong with that on 1st down.
And that was a good point you just made about Farron's interception, Jay. Oftentimes you see players go up, try to cradle the ball in their pads. It'll hit off the shoulder pads, fall to the ground. He was a receiver on that play. All hands, made the nice pick.
Another kid who's been very consistent back there this year in his defensive set. 2nd and 6 for the Golden Trojans. Pitch to True. Got some running room, needs a big kickout block. And Little able to close it in, and then good gang tackling.
They had Thompson on this side of the field for 1 block, but the Trojans not able to get Little, sealing him to the inside, and he just comes right down the line of scrimmage and puts a big hit on Ryan True.
True, maybe a little slow getting to that, but you got to remember, True's waiting for the block from Thompson to read that, and as he waits, he starts to make the cut, and here comes Little filling that gap, and as you said, no one sealed him. You need a seal block there. Seal block, and it's a 1st down. Now it's a 3rd down, and we'll call it 5. Again, the blitz. Little right through the line, and he brings down Duranso for a loss of about 4. And it seems like Tom Little has license to roam this afternoon, and he is creating havoc on the Thornton Academy offense.
I think it's time for the Trojans to go to a 2nd count, a hard count on the 1st one, see if they can get Little jumping off sides, because not only is he blitzing, but he's also doing a great job at reading the Thornton Academy cadence and getting the jump on the ball.
Booton's set to kick from about his own 38. Better blocking, and Booton gets off a nice punt. And see, there's a difference. Chris Mercier would have came up and fielded that and saved his team about 20 yards. The Redskin player didn't even want to have anything to do with that. Jake Hackett, number 4, just watches it bounce down inside the 15-yard line at the 13. 1:05 to go in the 1st quarter. Our Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Thornton Academy nothing, Sanford nothing. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30.
We all have choices, and Ben's Flooring has been the choice of many for all their flooring needs and more. And now, more than ever, because the Trustmark carpet selection system has come to Ben's Flooring. This system, emphasizing style, budget, and practicality, will help you make the right decision in choosing your new carpet. At Ben's Flooring, carpet selection is simple and pleasurable with the aid of a trained Trustmark salesperson to help you select a carpet you can feel good about. Have a happy Trustmark shopping adventure at Ben's Flooring.
Quality product and superior service is what you'll always find when you visit Deering Lumber for all of your home building and garden needs. Located at 14 Elm Street in Biddeford, they feature one of the area's finest selections of lumber, paint, windows, and hardware, as well as a wide selection of lawn and garden products. For over 130 years, it's been quality products and dependable service that stand behind the name Deering Lumber and make them a favorite. Stop in today and look over the outstanding selection. You won't be sorry.
First down and 10 for the Redskins. Straight handoff, a big hole. And maybe Justin Allen, chance at Little. Little with a great move. He's at the 45, the 40. Josh Farron giving chase. Another great cut. Little has gone yard. No flags on the play.
And right about midfield, Little makes a juke on Allen to the inside, gets his feet stopped, and then pops it to the outside. And a really fine job by Little.
Unofficially calling it an 88-yard run. And Tom Little made a couple of great moves down the sideline, and Justin Allen thought he had him, and I thought he was going to catch him. Little made a nice little juke move, put on a little more speed. Allen comes up with turf, and then Josh Farron closing the gap, and Little made another fine little cut right at the end of that. A low kick, but I believe it gets through. So the Sanford Redskins go 88 yards in one play in about 9 seconds, and they have taken a 7-0 lead over Thornton Academy.
And I was just about to say how Thornton Academy had turned the turnover on the 30 into now winning the battle of field position, pinning Sanford deep.
Looked like over pursuit on that play, and it looked like Little bounced it to the outside, back the opposite way unintentionally. It just kind of sealed up, and he bounced back, and Thornton Academy was all thinking run to the right, and he came back to the left, and there was just a couple of tacklers to beat, and Little did that very nicely. He is an outstanding back, the back that certainly made the huge catch last year for the victory. And with 50 seconds to play in the first quarter, Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard, Sanford Redskins 7, Thornton Academy nothing.
And at midfield, what Allen has to do is use the sideline as that extra defender, not get his feet stopped, and force the back to cut it to the outside and then just push him out of bounds. Easier said than done, of course. Easy from up here.
And again, as you said, Thornton Academy had established themselves winning the field position war, but the Redskins turned that around. The air Sanford turns to ground Sanford, and Tom Little, an excellent run. A little pooch punch, and Mercier will field it at his 16. Comes up inside, and runs into Jeremiah Roner. My Sharona Roner makes the stop at about the 33. Thornton Academy now doing the same as they did last week, falling behind 7-0. Still a lot of football to be played, but so far Tom Little has been the difference, both defensively and offensively. I saw that young man in the restroom before the game, and not even realizing it was Little, said, "You guys ready?" He said, "Oh yeah," very confidently, and he was not lying. And Ryan True handoff, and he does well to get back to the line of scrimmage.
The Trojans try that counter trap to the middle, and really no place to go. And once again, what happens, Little doesn't come up with the tackle, but he does shoot to the inside and just kind of clog up the middle, forcing the Trojan pulling guards to be bumping into each other.
Jake Langley's number 82 in the middle of that stop. Redskins are big across their offensive and defensive line, and you got some creative and exciting linebackers. They are for real. Mercier now tries to go wide. He throws the ball wide open to Sorois, but Ricky Sorois got turned around, and boy, 6 points by the board. Rick Sorois was so open, it looked like he was just sitting out there waiting for the football, but somehow the ball came just when he was turning, and he got switched around, the ball underthrown.
And a couple of reasons for that. First of all, Mercier throwing the ball into the wind, but if you notice, he threw the ball off his back foot, not really stepping into the ball. Sorois was wide open down the field. You got to get that ball up in the air, and very unfortunate for the Trojans, because great call.
Well, that's our last play of the first quarter. We'll switch ends and be back with second quarter action. Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Sanford 7, Thornton Academy nothing. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30.
In this election season, you've heard what the others promise. Now let us tell you what we guarantee. Variety. Yes, we have something for everyone. Just look. And all at low prices. Sorry, we can't do anything about the taxes. Full employment. And we strongly support the community. Remember, if you're looking for a party to join, come to our campaign headquarters. We promise to satisfy you.
Kids, pets, odors, spills, the list is endless. But with ServPro Cleaning Service, your house can be spring fresh year-round. With carpet, furniture, wall, and in-house drapery cleaning, insurance claim specialist, and odor removal, no job is too big for the technicians at ServPro. If dirt and cleaning are a problem for you, let ServPro take the worry out of your life and put clean, fresh happiness in your home. Bob's Exxon and Mini Mart, conveniently located on Elm Street in Saco, is also a state liquor agency. Bob's has a large variety of your favorite brands of beer, wine, and liquor. Whether you're planning a last-minute party, get-together, or just a quiet, relaxing evening at home, Bob's has just about everything you need. Sandwiches, snacks, soda, chips, and your favorite alcoholic beverage. Stop at Bob's today and get your get-together together. Bob's Exxon and Mini Mart, there for you.
Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper and Marc Paquette. Golden Trojans with a big 3rd down and 9. Duranzo fires out downfield and overthrows Andrew Tripp, the intended receiver. Thornton Academy again, 3 plays and out.
Sanford doing a nice job getting in the backfield, putting the pressure on Duranzo. He threw the ball prior to his receiver, making the break, a little high on the delivery. And once again, we're going to see Thornton Academy punting the football, this time with the advantage of the wind at their back.
Redskins have been able to put pressure on Booten. Booten gets off another fine kick, fielded, and handed off last second to Luce. And he takes some punishment as the Trojans come flying in. Chris Mercier down on the field. He's holding his neck face region. Mercier in some great deal of pain right now.
I believe Mercier hit the Sanford player fielding the ball just as he was handing it off to Toulouse. And he does look like he's in quite a bit of pain down there.
11:44 remaining in the second quarter. Thornton Academy behind 7-0. And so far, just the 1 first down for the Golden Trojans on their first play of the contest. A 10-yard pickup by Brian Thompson, and then the holding penalty downfield, and then the fumble. And Thornton Academy comes up with a big defensive stand, holding on a goal line situation, forcing the Redskins to go for a field goal. Travis Roy with a great pressure up the middle, forces the field goal wide right. And then the Trojans get their own turnover on the nice interception and the return from Josh Farron, unable to pick up the first down, but they punt, pin the Redskins at their own 12, and first play for them, Tom Little goes 88 yards. The extra point good by Chris Boyce, as Mercier up appears to be okay. That's good news. So the Redskins get the ball back. They'll start from their own 29-yard line. Counter the other way. Kalman able to find his hole, get it upfield for a nice gain on first down.
The Trojans that time, Jay, I think caught a little bit in over pursuing the ball, going for the first ball carrier. Of course, a fake there with the counter trap on the other side. And last week, the Sanford rushing gaining just over 100 yards against South Portland. And here this afternoon, obviously already reaching that total and doing an effective job up front.
2nd down and 3. Again, it's Kalman. He knifes into the secondary. He'll have the 1st down. Redskins, of course, losing the momentum early after not being able to score, after having a goal line situation, but then they get it all back with the 88-yard touchdown run. And right now, they're a team that believes, and everything starts to work, and of course, it works the other way. Momentum's such an important part of a football game at any level. Toulouse comes to the near side. Allen checks up on him. Again, it's the fullback. Kalman gets knocked back after he gets close to the 45-yard line. Topham, along with Grantham and Roy, in on the stop.
What you're seeing right now from the boys up front for Sanford is a great push on the line of scrimmage, and Thornton Academy up front is getting stood straight up and really not able to get the penetration that has been such a keystone to them doing a good job defensively thus far this year.
Official timeout as Kalman laces up his shoes. 2nd and 8. Hand off to Little. Breaks the tackle and fights forward. Thrown forward by Travis Roy for about an extra 2 yards.
On the far side of the field, Ryan True got a great push, just missing the tackle. But the linebackers aren't there to fill those gaps, Jay.
Third down and 4 now. Matthews sends Toulouse to the near side. Redskins coming out of the I formation. Kalman up the middle, and he's not going to get it. And that should put Sanford in a punting situation. Redskins don't appear to be sending out a punting unit.
Well, you have to wonder if they're actually going to go for it or try to see if they can get the Trojans to jump off sides.
Mike Fallon, the head coach, we've seen over the last decade, the prior 2 coaches for Sanford playing a very conservative style of football. It would be 4th and less than this, down inside their opponent's 40, and they'd still punt it. So this is a big call here. That's exactly what they were doing. And if you've been scouting Thornton Academy, that's a great call, because 2 and 3 times this season, the opponent has been able to draw Thornton Academy off on 3rd down and 4 or 5, a big situation. And here, of course, at 4th down, Thornton Academy thinking the same thing as you were, Mark. They're not going to go for this. It would have been a gutsy call, and I would have liked to have seen it. Something you just don't see from a Sanford Redskin team over the last, as we said, 10 years or so.
I guess the question is, do you want to take a chance of giving the Trojans the ball at midfield with the wind at their back when right now all the momentum is on your side? Kick the ball, pin them deep, and see if your defense can continue to hold them.
Low lining kick. Mercier not able to get up and field it.
Smart job staying away from that one. We always say how Mercier comes up to field the ball, but really a line drive kick. He would have been taking a chance with the Sanford defenders right there on him at the 20-yard line.
8:17 to play in the 2nd quarter. Our Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Sanford 7, Thornton Academy nothing. Thornton Academy now with their 5th possession of the contest so far, only mounting 1 first down, and they stare 80 yards away. Pitches to Demers. Nathan Demers gets penned in. He'll get very, very short yardage on that play. Good job of containment by the Redskins, and then pursuit as well.
And that's the word, pursuit. Unbelievable to the outside how Sanford is getting their defenders out there with really no place to go. And really, I think what the Trojans have to do now is to devise a play that'll make Sanford pay for that pursuit.
Early, they were able to spring Thompson quickly into the secondary on a couple of plays, but since then, Sanford has shut it down. Thompson fights for about 4, but again, Thornton will look at a 3rd and substantial yardage.
And if nothing else, they need to pick up a few first downs to get the ball back on the other side of the field, because as it stands now, Sanford will once again get terrific field position.
So yet another big 3rd down play for the Golden Trojans. Demers and Mercier in slot formation. Tripp to the far side, Royce to the near. This time Thompson breaks into the secondary, all the way out to the 40-yard line. No flags down the play. Looked like the Redskins may have jumped.
And that time they send 2 guys right on the line of scrimmage to attempt a blitz on the snap. Thompson's able to run right by him and pick up a really big first down for the Trojans.
Is there an official name for the new building? So you can say you don't know, Mark.
I don't know, Mark.
Hand off to Demers. Demers, nice job, but there's Tom Little again, grabbing on and showing great upper body strength, able to stop Demers dead in his tracks with just 2 hands on the waist and wrestles him back, and Demers looked like he may be breaking it off to the races. Thornton Academy now with the ball out just shy of the 45. And
With True back in at the tailback spot now, and if Little can bring him down with just 2 hands that way, then I'll be impressed.
Little 5'9", 180. He is a football player. The pitch to True. True cuts up inside, through some tacklers, into Sanford territory. Gain of 10 on the play for Ryan True. So the Trojans with a little band funk going on, seemingly picking up their pace here offensively.
Good read by Ryan True. He had the lead block from Thompson, and Thompson was outside at the far hash mark, but True saw nothing out there, so he cut it back to the inside and picked up the first down.
First down and 10. The ball now at Sanford's 45-yard line. Mercier comes to the near side. Tripp to the far, and again, the Trojans out of the eye. Ryan True into the secondary, pummeling, and another 10 yards for the big senior. Brought down out there by number 88, Ray Hackett. So 2 consecutive 10-yard runs from the big senior, Ryan True. And the Thornton Academy now starting to get the offense churned up a notch here. 5:20 and ticking in the second quarter. Trojans down 7. Connor with Mercier, and nothing doing there. Sanford well defensed, and excellent job of scouting that play. You like that play because with the motion with True, usually that means you're going to have either a pitch to True or the fullback's going to take it to the same side of the field that he's going in motion. And this time the counter, a great play on paper, but Thornton Academy not executing.
And what Sanford's doing is they know on that motion the tendency of the Trojans is to go with the counter trap up the middle, so they're playing it that way. If the Trojans can bounce it to the outside, perhaps they can make him pay.
Football may have come out. They say it was down on the play as True picks up maybe 3 yards. Thornton in that 4-down territory. So again, the Trojans here can keep it on the ground if they choose and try to just get, 4 more yards and go again with a 4th and short. Thornton down 7, well into Sanford territory. And obviously 3 points doesn't do them a great deal at this juncture. So they're thinking 7 right now. So Royce comes to the near. Andrew Tripp goes to the far. Double slot formation. Duranto rolling, has time. Steps up, gonna run it. Duranto breaks a couple of tackles. He'll get very close. He was about to unload and brought it back down and got forward for about 7 yards. It'll be 4th down and 1.
And that's what you have to do. If your receivers aren't open, get the ball in your hands and cut it straight upfield and get what you can. A nice read by Duranzo that time, and a real fine job of getting the ball very close to the 1st down marker.
Heard a lot of fans groaning on that when he started to run. But then after he broke a tackle and got 7 yards, that turned into a quick, hurried clap. 4th and 1, big play here. The Trojans with the ball at the 25. It's Thompson, easy 1st down, and he just keeps on going. He knocked one of the Sanford tacklers back about 6 yards, and with such a force of hitting him, he was able to lay on another Sanford tackler and keep going, and a big pickup on 4th down.
I don't know if the Trojans are audibling at the line of scrimmage, but Sanford sends both linebackers right over center, and the Trojans run the ball off tackle, and naturally there's a hole there, and they pick up the 1st down.
I've yet to really had a chance to sit down and talk to Chris Duranzo, but interviewing Thompson and True after the win at home against Bonnie Eagle, they said Duranzo did a great job audibling during that contest. This time, nothing doing on that left side.
Thompson actually should have bounced that to the inside. True was pushing his man to the outside on the lead block, and the hole was more to the middle.
Matt Jones, number 22, a 6'1", 175-pound senior, makes the stop. And
it's very rare you're going to see a loss of yardage when Thompson carries the football.
Demers checks in at tailback, and he's got some room to the right side, it looks like. It is the pitch to the right. One block, and it's Little. He breaks Little's tackle, and look at Little Demers go.
Well, first you have to say that was a great job by Little getting from his linebacker spot and almost putting the collar on Demers, but once again he shows that foot speed and the quickness, ability to cut, turn something that could have been very negative into a very positive game for the Trojans.
You're exactly right, Mark. Tom Little is just a sensational linebacker, and he has speed, power, and everything, and he came flying through the hole and almost threw Nathan Demers for about a 5-yard loss. The Trojans now with a 3rd and 4. May have been some movement. And finally, a flag comes out as Thompson gets enough for a 1st down, and here it is again. That big penalty on a crucial drive in a crucial situation in the series of downs. A 3rd down and 5, and you jump off sides, put your team now in a hole with a 3rd and 10.
You know, oftentimes people say, why is it that a team does that when they get close to the goal line? What you have to keep in mind is on a long drive, players are tired, and it's a lot tougher to concentrate when you're blowing wind out there, and that's what happens. They lose the concentration, and that is really a huge penalty.
Well put, and an excellent point. No question that fatigue factors in. That's why so many of the great coaches have a very well-conditioned team, and they know that. Mistakes start to happen when you're tired. And it's just like in a basketball game, it's tough to make those free throws when you're fatigued and tired and out of wind. Sanford now uses a timeout. Only a minute 22 to go here in the first half as Thornton Academy has put together a very nice, long, sustained drive here. With the timeout on the field, we'll take a break. Our Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Sanford 7, Thornton Academy nothing.
Animal crackers next to Jurassic dinosaur cookies. Gumballs and Mary Jane's next to Nintendo bubblegum. Penny candy everywhere. Are you in the Twilight Zone? No, you're at the Wayway store where every day is a step back to 1929. Stop in and visit with Catherine and Peggy for all your everyday grocery needs and then some. And remember, a slower, kinder time. From penny candy to padlocks, dried beans to dolls with homemade outfits, you'll find it at the Wayway store. Step back in time at the Wayway store without leaving today.
Tradition and Maine go hand in hand, and one tradition the locals enjoy is visiting Wormwoods by the Breakwater, Camp Ellis. Wormwoods has been a family affair for more than 50 years, serving up the finest in fresh seafood, certified Angus beef, as well as chicken and pasta dishes. Wormwoods enjoys making you feel at home with hearty meals, lighter portions for small appetites, and gladly accommodates those with special dietary needs. Visit Wormwoods. Become a part of the tradition.
Wagner's Market, 188 Lincoln Street, Saco is your neighborly variety store with all your daily needs in one quick stop. The biggest and best subs in town, ice cold beer and soda, pizza, a fine deli selection, megabucks tickets, and daily specials. All ready for you in seconds for a speedy takeout. If you want to eat in, Wagner's has plenty of space for that too. Wagner's is infamous for its gut bomb sandwich, big enough to bomb any TA opponent or to serve to the entire TA football team, who's hungry for wins and Wagner's. 188 Lincoln Street, Saco, sponsor of the gutsy player of the game.
Thornton Academy looking at a 3rd down and 9. The ball spotted at the 17-yard line. So Royce comes to the near side. He draws sole coverage out here. Tripp to the far. Now Mercier comes in motion. Taranto looking to throw. Fires out. Ball tipped and knocked down. Hackett able to get his hands up into the passing lane and knock that one down. And now Thornton Academy with a 4th down and 9. And that's why Thornton Academy, this point of the season, still 2 plays to get 9 yards. What happens if you don't get any positive yards with an incomplete pass? Now you're just about forced to have to pass it again on 4th down. Remember last week, though, against Marshwood, it was a 4th and 16 passing play that Taranto hooked up with Sorois for their only touchdown in regulation.
And earlier in the afternoon, we were talking about linebackers getting back into their zone drops, getting the hands up. Exactly what you saw that time for the Redskins. Linebacker knocking the ball down, and then good job by the secondary hitting the receiver. Of course, when that ball is tipped, you're able to hit the receiver without drawing a penalty. Heard a little noise down from the Thornton Academy faithful on that, but no penalty there. And now what you fully expect to see here on a, as you said, 4th down and apparent throwing situation is Sanford to once again send their linebackers, put the pressure on Duranso. They've done a great job thus far this afternoon getting in his face.
Without question, a very big play here. And Thornton Academy, though, you're thinking 7 because you're down 7, but 3 points out of this would not be the worst scenarios either, because you're still going to have to put some more points up on the board at some point, and that might put you in a position to win the game with a touchdown later on. But I think Thornton Academy will here stay and go for it. Good crowd on hand today at Hill Stadium, being a couple of class reunions, a class of 1951 celebrating, well, that would be about 45 years. And the class of 81 here today also celebrating their reunion. 4th and 9. Duranso gonna throw. Rolls right. Fires up and knocked away from Andrew Tripp. And the Redskins will take over with 1:12 to play in the half. So it appears Thornton Academy will head to the locker room trailing 7-0, just as they did last week versus Marshwood. Still some time to go, and things could happen, but Trojans right there. Duranto had plenty of time again, and I think he was thinking about running the ball, but then spotted Tripp open in the far corner of the end zone and unloaded.
Tripp, unfortunately, running out of room with the end line to the end zone.
Hand off to Kalman. He'll pick up about 5. So I was mentioning the reunions, a lot of those coming aboard and taking a look at the new building, and there's a spaghetti supper tonight. And everyone raving about the new auditorium and, of course, the Atkinson Dining Commons that is quite new to Thornton Academy, actually having a cafeteria, a workable one, should we say?
Boy, it was long overdue, because the other cafeteria was really too small back when we went to school. But you're right, Jay. Absolutely a beautiful, beautiful facility.
As we mentioned, all the arts coming into play, and those should be taught at the younger level. Expose kids at the high school level to this stuff, and that helps them in their career choices down the road. They know what they want to go to school for if they can see this. And you look at some of the crowd, and class of 51 with a section reserved right down in front for them. And my stepfather in the class 51, and him and my mother came up to the breakfast this morning toward the new building and just raved about it. And I was in there, Dennis Avery and myself went over, in the class of 81 was doing a little tour. and saw some of the old football players that played back in my day, a couple of years behind me. And Tom Drew, class of 80, but his wife in the class of 81, he was doing that tour. Great defensive end that played with us. And saw Todd Davis, too. He was our manager when I played. And that was, I still always, every time I see him, I think of the hardest hit I ever had in high school football. I was running onto the field with a play, and he was coming off. He didn't see me, and I turned and just laid him out flat. Of course, he had no equipment on, and it was a good, clean hit. And Todd was shaken up on the play, to say the least.
But he got up and continued on, I'm sure.
Yeah, it took him a few minutes to find the ball again, but he definitely did. But I saw Todd today, and it's always good to see him. A person well known in the community of Saco. Thornton Academy now trying to shut down Sanford and maybe get one more possession. The Redskins with a 3rd down and 6, and still some chess playing going on between Coach Agresti and Coach Fallon of Sanford. The auditorium, good trivia question here. How many seats, how many people does it hold, Mark? You got that one?
Let me see. How about 350?
Well, an easy way to remember this, Dan, I've already thought of it. You think of the pagan and the guy that started genocide in America as we know it today. What year did he discover what is now called America, which we know he really didn't, but 1492, we'll take the one off, 492. Long way to go about it, but again, I get some political statements in there.
Nice job. I'm
We get-
impressed.
I still am amazed, Columbus Day coming up next week, that we celebrate that as a holiday. It's appalling. Nice run by Little, and he'll have the 1st down, and that gives Sanford the opportunity now to air it out a couple of times and look for more points for them.
Well, they want to be cautious, though, at this point, because they will be receiving to start the 2nd half and already having a 7-0 lead. I think you're going to see one more run and take it into halftime.
Toulouse comes to the near side of the field. Allen, again, getting sole coverage. You'd think now safety Farron cheats over a little bit, and sure enough, here it comes. They air it out. Allen getting up, and a bump there. That should be right there, I would think, offensive pass interference.
If anything, but both players going for the ball, and when the ball's in the air, both players have the right to the football. And I think they would run, they pass, which goes to show why I'm up here.
Well, with a receiver like Toulouse, anything can happen, and Matthews can certainly air it out, so not a bad call. If I was Sanford, I'd do the same thing on 2nd down. Farron able to read that in time and got over there to support Justin Allen. But Allen not giving anything away to Pat Toulouse. Again, Toulouse comes to Allen's side of the field. Pitch out with Little. Little breaks some tackles. He's still going, look out! And boy, one cut, maybe too many for Tom Little.
Trojans just not wrapping the arms, hitting with the pads without using the arms. And you're not going to bring that young man down unless you wrap. And now if Matthews has the arm, you air it out down the field into the end zone. You have nothing to lose at this point.
Absolutely, another timeout taken. We'll take another break with 15 seconds of play in the 1st half. Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard, Sanford 7, Thornton Academy nothing. Back in a flash.
If you're looking for something to do or someplace for fun, look no further. There's always something going on at Soho's, an authentic English pub open year-round at the beach. They've got the longest happy hour of anyone that starts at noon and goes to 8 every day. Monday night is football night with free chili, 99-cent Miller drafts, and T-shirt giveaways. Thursday belongs to the ladies with drink specials all evening. Next up, it's DJ Dan and Saturday Night Madness, where you can relieve the recession with half-price drinks, 2 beer specials, and red light specials.
When you need to stop, make sure it's an advanced brake service.
Back at Hills Stadium in Saco, The Redskins with a first down and 10 from Thornton Academy's 43. And Matthews looking down the far side of the field. Pressure, it bounces outside. And now he's going to run and get out of bounds and stop the clock with 7 seconds to play. Nice job by the senior quarterback.
By getting out of bounds, that gives Sanford the chance to run one more play. That time Harder from the left defensive end spot, or the right defensive end, I should say, getting in on Matthews and forcing him to run out of the pocket and out of bounds.
Now Little air it out to Loose down there, but Justin Allen steps in and has yet another interception on the season. And that'll conclude our first half of play. Sanford Redskins coming to Thornton Academy and trying to win at Hill Stadium for the first time in many, many years. It was at Cobb Stadium last year in Sanford when they won for the first time in many, many years, and trying to repeat that performance. They take a 7-0 lead into the locker room. We're back with our halftime after this.
Hi, I'm Brenda Boucher. I'm a junior at Thornton Academy. Let's go, TA! Hi, I'm Maggie Jones. I'm a senior, and go us. Hi, I'm Jen Chrisman, and I'm a senior. Go, TA! Hi, my name's Carrie Pryor. I'm a senior. Let's go, TA! Hi, I'm Nicole Pollack. I'm a senior at Thornton Academy. Go, Trojans! Hi, my name's Alicia Littlefield, class of 1999. Right, Trojans! Hi, my name is Becky Breton, class of 99. TA's number 1. Hi, I'm Heather Martell. I'm a sophomore at Thornton Academy. Let's go, TA! Hi, my name is Nikki Boisine. I'm in the class of 2000. Go, TA! Hi, my name is Carrie Murphy, and I'm in the class of 2000. Let's go, TA! Hi, my name is Melissa Paquette. I'm class of 2000. Fire up, Trojans! Hi, I'm Brianna Sibney from the class of 99. Let's go, Trojans! Hi, I'm Don Weber. I'm a class of 99. Let's go, Trojans! Hi, I'm Danielle Tilton, class of 98. Let's go, TA!
Welcome back to High Above Hill Stadium in Saco. Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette. Thornton Academy trailing at the half 7-0. The 88-yard touchdown run from Tom Little. And Little has been the big difference here in this contest.
He certainly has, especially defensively. He's been shooting the gap all afternoon, stopping the running game, getting the penetration on the passing game, and of course that 88-yard scamper down the near side of the field here, giving Sanford their only points of the afternoon. And
Sanford, we thought, would throw the ball today. So far, no yards on top. Matthews 0 for 3 in that department. Thornton Academy, no yards passing. It's been a total ground game. The Trojans with that one very nice drive, taken from their own 20 all the way down to the 7-yard line, where they look to have a first down and goal, but a offsides penalty. I don't know how many times we've seen that this season, being the big disaster for the Golden Trojans. They can't overcome that, and they come up empty on that, very nice drive.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Last week when we closed the game down in Marshwood, we said, okay, halfway through the season, now things are starting to look pretty good for the Trojans, but they really have to stay away from costly penalties. Last week it was the motion penalty. Here this afternoon, twice jumping off sides, really taking their momentum away offensively.
Tom Little, 8 carries for 140 yards. The Redskins, 180 yards on the ground this afternoon. They've shown they can run the football, and it's probably only a matter of time before Matthews starts to connect with Toulouse. But Thornton Academy has to come out here in the second half, do just what they did last week against Marshwood. That shut down the Hawks and then get some offense.
Yeah, that's true. And, let's face it, Jay, Sanford is a good football team, and they're doing a great job. They've come to play and to prove they're no longer a doormat type team where people can just show up and beat. They've got a good football team, and they're playing very well here this afternoon against the Trojans.
Thornton Academy doing a nice job mixing it up on the ground, and a lot of different players with some nice carries. Brian Thompson, again, with some big chunks of yardage, able to do some big things, but it was that turnover early from Thompson on the fumble that set things turning for Thornton Academy and turning in the wrong direction.
They don't really need to panic. They need to come out in the second half. They're going to be kicking the ball to Sanford, come up with a big defensive series, and then try to get back into their game. Towards the end of the second quarter there, we saw a nice, long, sustained drive prior to that penalty. They look good up front, doing a better job of getting the job done in the trenches. That's what they need. Stay within their game plan, and eventually, hopefully, things will start to fall into place.
Just moments away from the start of the second half. We'll take a break. Back with that second half right after this.
Curl Up and Dye, a premier styling salon, keeps getting better and welcomes Jennifer to its crew of the finest professional stylists in the area. They offer full-service, ultra-modern hairstyling and coloring for men and women, facials, manicures, and waxings, and pride themselves on personal professional service. Let them help you decide what you need to look great. Private styling rooms, a convenient location, and the finest stylists offering service tailored to your needs. Sum up Curl Up and Dye. Why not make an appointment today?
Welcome back to Hill Stadium in Saco. The tri-captains for the Golden Trojans meeting with the quad captains of the Redskins, Travis Roy, Chris Mercier, and Brian Thompson. And they're trying to decide right now which goal they want to defend to start this second half. The Trojans trailing by 7, an 88-yard run by Tom Little, highlighting the first half of play. Both teams able to move it on the ground. Sanford a little bit more successful, of course, than the Golden Trojans, thus the 7 points. But here in the second half, Mark, last week the Trojans came out, stuffed the Hawks, took them, I think, 2 possessions to get their points, but they shut down Marshwood's offense just remarkably in that second half. Time and time again, the Hawks only had about 3 first downs in the whole second half.
Coaching staff last week definitely did a fine job making the adjustments coming out, especially the defensive adjustments to stop the size of Marshwood up front, really unable to get anything going in the second half running the ball. And this afternoon, what the Trojans have to do is find a way to combat the blitzing linebackers from Sanford. You'd think up the middle something quick along the lines of a jump pass to the tight end will be there, because every time Little does blitz, that leaves a vacated spot over the middle. And hopefully Thornton Academy will be able to take advantage of that.
Thornton Academy only 1 turnover in that first half, but with that big offside penalty on the drive, really committing 2 turnovers. And the Redskins 2 turnovers with 2 interceptions. Josh Farron 1, Justin Allen the other. But both those interceptions and turnovers for Sanford did not hurt the Redskin team. And Thornton Academy both really affected this game, because I truly believe Thornton Academy came out and really established themselves early with that first handoff to Thompson. Looked like they were right in form from last week's second half performance, and then quickly a penalty and then the turnover slanted things the way of the Redskins. And both teams really pumped up here, and like this, as it cools off, I think the energy level is picking up on both sides of the field, and we got 24 minutes of football with Thornton Academy trailing by 7. Ryan True will do the kicking for the Golden Trojans. Back deep, it's Matthews and Toulouse. Again, a nice kick from Ryan True. Matthews picks it up at his own 15, comes up a hole, and bye-bye, 1 man to beat. And Ryan True, the kicker, makes the tackle, and then a very late flag. It'll be roughing on the Golden Trojans. So Sanford, again, seizes momentum right from the get-go.
Kind of a chippy call down there on that type of play. Ball carrier goes down, and the pile falls on him. Nice job by Ryan True, though, Jay, staying back, playing center field there from his safety spot. Kickoff safety spot. And
it's kind of surprising, the guy the size of True, that the kicker has all the momentum to run right down the field and become a tackler. And usually they have somebody else that stays back and plays safety, not the kicker, especially if he's an athlete like True. But this time it pays off, because True able to make the nice tackle. Little on first down gets hemmed up and taken down. That last roughing call, a tough call of sorts, but you have to call it when the ball carrier, he was down for a good couple of seconds, and the hit came very hard and late, and you have to call that. Unfortunately, sometimes your momentum, you can't stop yourself. You're diving as the player comes down, and you can't help yourself. But I think that time a good call by the officials. 2nd down and 10. Opening moments of the 3rd quarter. Pitch to Little. Breaks the tackle and gets 5 yards as he stumbles forward all the way to the 35.
The Trojans defensively do a nice job of keeping containment to the outside and forcing Little back into the pursuit. And they do hit him about the 40, but once again shows his athletic ability by keeping the balance and the feet going, surging for about 4 more. And now you'd fully expect this would be 2-down territory.
Sanford becoming a road team, road warriors, winning down in Marchwood and then playing a game like this at Thornton. The losses coming at home. And the ball batted down over the middle. I don't know if it was Heidish or Grantham that got that.
I believe it was Grantham getting the left arm up. Sanford attempting a slant over the middle after play action to the fullback.
Now here the ball's at the 35 of your opponent. I'm not punting the football, I'm sorry. And if Sanford does, I'll have to question this call again because you're leading, and so far you've shut down your opposing team. Why give them the ball back without making an attempt? They've been able to move the football, and Thornton should be awake and aware of any fake possibilities here. They do fake it, and looks like the wall's there, although a flag comes in. And twice this year now that I've said this, and Thornton Academy is just totally fooled and out of position, and there's just no reason for that.
You're going to see a procedure call here, I believe. Sanford not set, but they certainly had the outside. 1 seal block.
It's just amazing how Thornton Academy cannot figure out that a team this deep in your territory with a lead, there's no reason that they would punt in that situation. You have maybe 15 yards to gain. If your punter does a miraculous job and nails it out at the 1, you can pick up 34 yards. It just makes no sense not to go for it. And we've seen Sanford in the past do just that, punt it, but this is no longer that Sanford team of the past. And an excellent call by Fallon, and boy, they had 20 yards, and again, a penalty being I guess that's why they call them penalty killers. That's a hockey term.
Team killers.
And now it's loose. More than likely, we'll have to launch it to the deep threats of Chris Mercier and Nathan Demers. He looks for the angle, and he gets a high, booming kick, signaling fair catch, and he might get the one. No, just trickles across the goal line, and the Trojans will take over at their own 20-yard line, averting near disaster on the opening drive by the Redskins.
And that seems to be the common theme here this afternoon, a team going down, doing a nice job offensively, and then at a critical time coming up with a very costly penalty. And every time it has hurt the offense because they haven't been able to put points on the board after that penalty.
10:21 to play in the 3rd quarter. Thornton Academy trailing 7-0. Trojans come out in the I formation. It'll be Brian Thompson. Gets out and then taken down rather rudely by Ray Hackett, number 88. But Thompson able to get 6 yards on 1st down.
And it seems as though this afternoon they have been most effective when they have been in that I formation. I know you prefer to see the I formation, especially when the ball is going to Ryan True.
I like both formations, but yes, if you're going to run your tailback, you need to be in that I formation. And True has performed well out of that. 2nd down and 4. Thompson again, keeping the legs moving and able to get 4 yards and a 1st down. Mercier comes to the near side, so Royce will go to the far. Pitch to True. Nice block, and Ryan True, though, unable to bounce it completely outside. Boy, there was a nice seal block coming. Not sure who got it. Was it
Mercier? He was split out to this side, and nice crack block on the linebacker, but still, once again, Sanford doing a fine job to the outside defensively. They've been swarming this afternoon. They've been around the ball.
They're a hungry football team, and they have come to play. Taranto to throw, lofts it out, and overthrows Ryan True. True breaking open into the flat. So now a big third down play, and it's 3rd and long. And so far, neither team able to connect via the air.
This game offensively kind of reminds you of a season opener when things just aren't in sync.
Mercia goes to the far side. Toulouse checks up with him. Here comes Sanford on the blitz, and the Trojans go to the handoff to Ryan True. True gets about 4 yards, but that'll put Thornton Academy into punting formation. Redskins are coming, pressure up the middle, and almost blocked again. Ball rolls forward to be down at about the 37-yard line. Redskins have just missed blocking 2 punts. They've been right there at the doorstep, and somehow Booton's able to avert disaster and get it off. The Redskins take over, 1st down and 10 with 7:39 to play in the 3rd quarter. Little picks up 4 yards. He's going to have to be one well-conditioned athlete if he continues at this pace. He is seeing the ball and doing it all on defense. I don't even think he comes off the field in any formation for the Redskins.
And defensively, not just standing around from his linebacker spot, but they've been sending him on almost every play, so I'm sure he's going to be a tired young man at the end of this afternoon.
2nd down and 5. Kalman takes it, and the ball comes out. Let's see if they rule it a fumble and who came up with it. Kalman able to retain possession. So no gain on the play, maybe a loss of a half a yard. It'll be 3rd down and a long 5 now. And big play for the Trojan defense.
And a play for Sanford that has been there this afternoon, just haven't been able to really utilize it, and that's been the crossing pattern with Toulouse.
The Redskins send both Jones and Toulouse to the near side of the field. Matthews will throw, maybe setting the screen, and oh boy, right there, picked! Heidish! Hello!
Well, Heidish reads screen, Jay, and he stays at home, right next to the back. Of course, Matthews doesn't see him there and throws to the back, and Heidish steps up, and that is a huge turnover. Thornton Academy getting the ball at the Sanford 35-yard line.
Now the Golden Trojans must capitalize here.
Absolutely. Have to gain advantage of that one. Got to put some points up on the board.
6:08 to go in the 3rd quarter, and it's lineman Noel Heidish, the junior. And again, the pursuit was flying in, and usually when 2 people come in that easily, it's screen. We start to call it. Heidish bought in early, and he just shadowed the receiver and made the pick. Good hands for the big guy. Thompson fights forward for a gain of 3. The only problem with that for Heidish, the unfortunate thing is he caught it right in the middle of the field in traffic and takes away from his dream of going yard. But I think the outstanding lineman will take the interception. Not too many linemen can put that to their resume. Allen comes to the near side. Let's see if the Trojans try to use Justin Allen. They'll run the option. Duranzo cuts it up inside. He'll get about 4, and nothing wrong with that. Trojans in 4-down territory. Just keep it on the ground and keep it going forward. And a couple of Sanford players shaking up on that play.
Once again, Duranzo doing a nice job on his read. Defensive end or the outside containment man not going directly at quarterback, so that's when you cut it up inside. He does that, and he comes up about a yard short.
Jones looked like he's a little woozy. He's walking sideways here, and he really hasn't found himself yet. That is a bizarre feeling. Had that happen to me once in a preseason game against Deering. They had a huge fullback. He went about 230. I hit him right at the knees, and he did a 360. I came up with thinking I was Marc Paquette or something.
Well, aren't you fortunate?
Third down and short. What's that?
Have you come to your senses yet?
Oh, see, I was senseless.
Oh, gee.
3rd and short. Thompson off the right side. He'll have that first down. Brought down by Little.
The Trojans lead with True up the hole, and Thompson bounces it to the outside. Picks up the first down for the Trojans.
Thornton Academy crowd has come to life now as the Trojans trying to draw even. First down and 10, the ball at the 23. Thompson pushes forward for a couple. Jones back in the lineup, and he gets help with his other number 22, Jake Langlays.
And just as Marshwood was doing defensively last week, they're slanting towards the side of motion. If Thornton Academy could counter to the outside, that opening on the outside is there.
So Royce goes to the far side. Roner sole coverage out there. Handoff. Thompson burst into the secondary. Brian Thompson down to the 5-yard line. It'll be first down and goal to go. Golden Trojans.
Now you expect to see the Trojan power backfield, 3 backs straight across. Goal line offensive set. And just see if they can push one in the end zone.
And Thompson looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Or maybe a .357 Magnum. I think a cannonball comes out a little slower than Thompson on that one. He just came bursting through that hole. And the Trojans now knocking at the door. They got to think, hold on to the football. Brian Thompson spinning, turning. He should have touchdown, yes.
Well, he gets hit about the 2, and by spinning, takes the ball in his left hand and sticks it in the end zone. And the official on the near side of the field, now they're talking about it, but should be 6, and it is.
What's the discussion? Again, high school football, these guys should go to a goal line touchdown situation school where they learn how to give a kid a touchdown. The kid breaks the plane of the goal as he's diving forward. That's a touchdown, folks. It is a touchdown. High school officials just seem to have such a difficult time. They want the kid to cross the goal line with his entire body.
Well, once Thompson reaches out and puts the ball over the goal line prior to being tackled, yes, that is 6. The official on the near side of the field had it.
And that one hooks a little bit on Andrew Tripp, but it hooks just inside the left upright, and Thornton Academy has done exactly what they did last week down in Elliott. They have come back to tie it up after a big turnover. Noel Heidish got the Trojans headed in the right direction, and then it was Brian Thompson to pay dirt, getting behind that big offensive line, and the Golden Trojans have reestablished themselves, and it's 7-7 with 3:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. And now Thornton Academy has to, again, come out and establish defense, come up with a stop and try to get the offense with the momentum, the ball back as quick as possible.
And that's what is happening for the 2nd week in a row, is right now the momentum is up for grabs. Thornton Academy kind of getting it back away from Sanford here in the 2nd half, and if they can come up on the field, stopping Sanford defensively and get the ball back. The last couple of times they've had the ball, they've done a nice job up front opening up those holes.
Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. TA 7, Sanford 7. Ryan True will kick it off. Nice kick once again, fielded at the 15 by Matthews. That's Little. And Little gets wrestled down at the 30-yard line. Josh Gregoire gets up high and part of the tackle, and Little is shaken up on the play. 3:26 to go in the third quarter. We'll take a pause for the cause. The Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard, 7 apiece. Back after this.
A brand new gift shop. Gifts galore from Maine and beyond for every taste and budget. It's a Tisket, rear 605, U.S. Route 1, Scarborough. In the past year and a half, the new Amanda Mays has established itself serving up the finest breakfast in the area, and with good reason. The freshest ingredients, big portions, small prices, friendly service, and great gossip combine to give your day a winning start. There are specials every day: soups, chowders, sandwiches, something for everyone, and it's all available for takeout. Plus, they cater any event. For a very pleasant dining surprise, try Amanda Mays, where good friends meet and make new ones.
Back at Hill Stadium in Saco, Jay Harper along with Marc Paquette, Dennis Avery on the camera, Tony Ryan above with us doing the stats, and the Trojans now trying to do it defensively, and that's a great start. A bad exchange between Matthews and his running back, and a loss of 4 on the play. Kevin Duras, Jim Bouffard in on the stop for the Trojans.
And on the snap, you see Bouffard take the center, push him right into the quarterback, and that really clogs up the middle. And the rest of the maroon jerseys come in and clean up.
Thornton was able to do that a lot against Marshwood in the second half, is shut them down on first down and put them in a different alignment on second down. Matthews to throw, he's in trouble, but he scrambles out of there. True finally grabs on and pulls them down. Well, that'll bring up a 3rd and long. Great play by the Trojans there, but let's give this quarterback a lot of credit. He is an exceptional talent, as is his running back Little, but Matthews scrambling out of there nearly broke that one off.
And a sign of the composure of a quarterback is when he does start to feel the pressure, he doesn't have the happy feet. He stays right up in there, steps up into the pocket, and continues to look downfield and or run the ball for as much as he can get.
3rd down and 12. Matthews is going to throw. Looks out over the middle. He got his crossing man. Toulouse, look out. Just tripped up. Getting a piece is Topham. And Toulouse gets it out to midfield. Great pattern, a great throw.
And also a nice job after he catches the ball of picking up 10 more yards.
And we figured it was a matter of time before those two would hook up, and they finally do.
And the difference there is that time Matthews had the time to step up and throw the football.
Pressure was coming in on him. His pocket was collapsing, but he stayed strong in that pocket and delivered the football, the first completion of the afternoon for either team. A nice play, Kalman fooling everybody. And he'll have, I believe, 11 and another first down. So quickly, momentum shifting right there. Thornton pinning Sanford in, and they come out with a big passing play. And next thing you know, the Redskins are in Thornton Academy territory with a first down and 10 at the 40-yard line. Langley's in motion. The pitch comes to Little. Excuse me, not Little. Vallely, number 35, gets this second rush of the afternoon, and there is a difference between the two because Tom Little probably would have busted that for about a 7 or 8 yard gain. The Trojans able to bring Valley down after no gain. It'll bring up a second down and 10.
The Trojan D, they do a nice job. They string it out, and then Travis Roy comes down the line and puts the stick on him.
Toulouse goes to the far side. Allen draws sole coverage out there. Counter the other way with Kalman. The Trojans are there. Bang! What a hit. Justin Allen
Little misdirection there. They're hoping to catch the Trojans in an over pursuit, but the far side of the field, they stay at home, and then once again, the corners come up, do a great job.
Well, Justin Allen has done nothing to make me recant my prior comments that he may be and probably is the best defensive back in Western A football. He continues to shine, and that was just a tremendous tackle. He knows how to go down low and just took the legs right out from underneath. And another loss, and Sanford looks at another 3rd down and long, but we'll have to take a little break and change ends. Our Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Thornton Academy 7, Sanford 7. We're back with a 4th and maybe final quarter of play right after this.
Sometimes you just want to do the same old thing. When you need photocopies at reasonable rates, you want to visit Copy It again. Multiple copies, collated, stapled, or bound are no problem for Copy It's high-speed copier. Don't go anywhere else for copies up to 36 inches wide or for blueprints. But when you want some color in your life, go to Copy It. Copy It's full-color copier reproduces photos and artwork like you wouldn't believe and gives pizzazz to business documents. Whether you want the old or the new, go to Copy It for all your copy needs. Party Castles is where party people go so they can get their parties off the ground. Party Castles has party supplies for every celebration. From more than a rainbow tableware to streamers, personalized balloons, and balloon delivery, Party Castles will give your party a lift. And if your special wedding day is fast approaching, a visit to Party Castles will delight you. Janine can help you with wedding invitations, rental of the wonderful balloon arch, and the wedding bell. For the most festive parties and the most beautiful weddings, you've got to get to Party Castles.
12 minutes of football remains. These two teams in a gym dandy here at Hills Stadium. Knotted at 7, and both teams punching and counter-punching. And Thornton Academy's defense with a counter after the big play from Matthews to Toulouse. Thornton Academy comes up defensively with 2 outstanding defensive stops. Justin Allen with a great hit from his cornerback position, and now the Redskins look to convert on another 3rd down and long. Jones comes to the near side. Toulouse to the far. Matthews setting up, pressure coming in. He airs it out for Toulouse, and the ball just overthrown, and contact very late in that pass route. And fortunate for Mercier, no flags come out of the back pockets of the officials, and the Trojans have put the Redskins in a punting situation. Now 4th and long, and Thornton Academy's defense, great defensive stand right there, except for that one play. They gave up a big chunk of real estate, and they'll have to presumably start deep inside their own territory. But again, they come back and answer that big play with a nice 3-play series. Mercier stands at his own 10, as does Nathan Demers. Mercier's going to field this one, takes it at his 11. Looking for some room, cuts inside and gets it out to about the 24-yard line, and the Trojans will start. 1st down and 10.
He fields the ball at the 10-yard line, and you have to feel the way the ball was spinning. I don't think it had the type of roll, would have had the roll to go into the end zone. Instead of pinning Thornton down deep, they have the ball at the 23-yard line.
Thornton Academy's last drive, a 6-play, 35-yard drive after the interception by Noel Heidish, and Brian Thompson 5 carries in that drive and the touchdown from 5 yards out, and he starts this one with the call, but picks up only a few as the Redskins pinch in the middle.
And Jesse Roy, big nose guard, standing strong right in the middle of the field for Sanford on that play, as he has for a good part of this afternoon.
Big 2nd down play here for the Golden Trojans. They send Mercier to the far side, so Royce checks up to the near. Pitch goes to Ryan True. True takes it inside and unable to break through the defensive front line. Langley's out there for the Redskins, along with Matt Jones. It seems like now that Sanford's tightening up on the inside, and the only way that sweep is going to work is if it bounces way outside, and you need the speed of a Nathan Demers to get it to that far side against the Sanford defense because they're really stringing it out very nicely. Well, it is hockey season.
Oh, please.
3rd down and 8. Double slot formation. Duranzo rolls left, trouble coming. And Chris Duranzo gets sandwiched back at the 20-yard line.
And all the Trojan receivers running deep routes. They needed to get to about the 34-yard line for a 1st down. And when Duranzo was hit, everybody had cleared almost to midfield. You'd think they'd be sending someone down underneath.
And when he rolls to his left, it takes time because you roll that way, then he has to turn it. By the time he turned his body and even thought about throwing the football, he was being hit.
And right now you have to be cautious because Thornton Academy has almost had a couple of punts blocked thus far this afternoon.
It looks like Sanford is setting up a return rather than coming after it. That is exactly the case. Booton gets off a nice high spiral and Mercier's out there. And Thornton gets an excellent roll out of that one.
15-yard roll.
And that's the thing. Mercier is so quick to get up there. And the Sanford return men just do not understand the fact that they have to get up and try to field that in the air and take it as a fair catch situation and just get the 15 yards, as you said. That time right there, a 38-yard punt from Booton, no return. 9:24 to play in the 4th quarter. Again, Vallely getting the call. It's Little maybe a little bit tired on the sideline over there. He has been the workhorse throughout, and that's certainly helping Thornton Academy defensively here.
Well, when he walked off the field after being injured, he looked as though he was having some difficulty getting off the field, and apparently it is a serious enough injury that he hasn't seen any action since. And he has been, as you said, the key to Sanford's game here on both sides of the ball this afternoon.
2nd down and 8. Counter with Toulouse. The Trojans have defenders out there. And Travis Topham has a tremendous stick out there and spun Toulouse around in circles, and a loss of nearly 4 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and once again longer than 10. The 3rd consecutive series that Sanford has faced a 3rd and longer than 10.
So important defensively to stay home, and that's exactly what he does there. He doesn't go for the drawing of action to the near side of the field, just stays at home, and eventually the play comes right to him. And he does a nice job of making the tackle.
Matthews has him in the eye. Jones to the near side, a draw play. And the Trojans able to bring down, I think Little was back in. Was that Little or was it Vallely? Can't get the number.
Looks like Little.
It was Little. So he's able to come back into the lineup, but seemingly slowing down a step or two from today's wear and tear on his body. Picks up 7 yards, but it's 4th down and 5, and Toulouse back in to punt it away once again. Flag is down on the play, and the ball kicked short and very low, and Mercier cannot get up to field it. Stopped at the 24. We'll have to check the flag now.
Going to have a procedure again against Sanford.
Do you make him kick it again, or do you just take the ball there?
I would make him kick it again, especially with Mercier and Demers back there. Those two kids can make things happen.
But just as something good can happen, so can something bad. I say we got the football here. Let's just take the ball. Well, we'll see how this. It would have been at the 24. We'll see after the 5 yards what happens here. Doesn't look like they took a full 5 off the. It was about a 4th and 5. They didn't mark off 5 yards to my knowledge. So Toulouse will have to do it one more time. Good snap, no pressure. Much better kick. Mercier fields a fair catch, and the Trojans gain about 2-3 yards, and I think that's all they marked off on the penalty, so.
About the same.
Just a little bit of extra effort on the part of Pat Toulouse. 7 minutes to go in regulation. Our Village Inn restaurant scoreboard. Thornton Academy 7, Sanford 7. You're watching Trojan football on CTV 30.
Nothing is tastier than fresh peaches, and Peaches Deli, 88 Saco Avenue, Old Orchard Beach, guarantees the freshness, quality, and homemade goodness of all of their food. Any time is a great time to enjoy a delicious specialty pizza or one of an almost unlimited variety of overstuffed subs. Call ahead and your order will be ready when you arrive. And be sure to pick up your favorite beverages, snacks, and megabuck tickets. For homemade freshness and quality, nothing beats the fresh taste of Peaches. Guaranteed.
At Saco Redemption Center, redemption is our only business, so we give you the best service around. At Saco Redemption, we accept any quantity of returnables. We trust your honest pre-count. You won't stand in long lines. In fact, if you have young children or are disabled, we'll come to your car. And if your organization plans a bottle drive, team up with Saco Redemption. We'll give you 10% above their value and park our trailer for collection at your location or ours. So if you plan a bottle drive, call Saco Redemption at 283-8900 today.
64 yards to pay dirt. Need to put something together. Against Waterville, we saw them break long runs after long runs, and again against Bonnie Eagle doing the same thing. Since then, they've been unable to go on a very long carry for a touchdown as Brian Thompson gets his usual. He's usually good for about 10 yards.
And on that play, they're going more off tackle, and that's where they have had more success this afternoon. When they've gone right up the gut with that trap play, Sanford's done a nice job of stopping them. And one thing we have to remember, Thornton Academy with the wind at their back, let's not forget the leg of Tripp may come into play here as the game winds down.
It almost did last week. He did factor into that one with a field goal try as time expired in regulation. Mercier out of the tailback position. Thompson this year, I would be willing to guess or bet, has probably had about 20 carries that have been for 10 or 11 yards, right in that range. He likes that distance. He gets right through the linebackers, and it gets to about the safety slot, and he's been carrying 2 or 3 players with him and finally brought down. Mercier picks up a good 4 yards on first down. It'll be 2nd and 6. Again, it's Thompson. Again, he pushes the pile forward, and he should have a first down.
Sanford, a little disorganized on that defensive set that time. People moving from one side of the field to the other just prior to the snap of the ball. One of the linebackers coming from the far side to the near, and then Thornton Academy runs right in that vacated hole. And once again, they move the chains.
Mercier comes to the near side. So Royce to the far. Demers breaks the tackle at the line of scrimmage and gets forward for about 5. Trojans now have used 3 different tailbacks in this one series here. This one possession, as Mercier, True, and now Demers have all carried the football out of the I formation tailback position.
And they showed an overload set in the line, sending Grantham to the right side of the line that time.
Thompson again into the secondary, again keeping the legs pushing. About 8 yards and another Thornton Academy first down as this Trojan team seemingly starting to wear down the Redskin defense.
And right now what Chris Lorenzo has to be doing in the huddle is reminding everyone what the snap count is, and it's time to start to execute. Can't have a costly penalty. Let's hang on to the ball maintenance, because they're certainly seizing the momentum, and they're doing a great job up front right now, Jay.
The Redskins have used a defensive timeout. We'll take a timeout. Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard. Thornton Academy 7, Sanford 7. You're watching the Trojans.
For classic American fare with a continental flair, come to Silver Spoons, Southern Maine's casual dining alternative.
Thornton Academy doing it on a very crucial drive here as time is winding down here in regulation. Thompson again gets off that right side. He'll have about 3, and nothing wrong with that on first down.
And one thing we have not seen from Sanford on this defensive series, they're keeping all 4 linebackers at home, not sending anybody up the middle. And that's where really they were successful earlier in the afternoon, were clogging up the holes, filling the gaps.
Not the greatest of spots on that carry for Thompson. Fumble. Oh my. Ball came out and Thornton Academy able to come back up with it. Thompson dodging a huge bullet there, but now this brings up a 3rd and long. It's about 8 yards. The Trojans at the 37 here.
I would prefer to see them stay patient here instead of throwing the ball, try to get it close to the first down marker so that they have a lot of options on 4th down.
Exactly. An incomplete pass is a tough scenario to put them in for 4th down. The blitz is coming. Duranzo will throw though. Fires out and it's bobbled, and is it caught? Yes, it is.
He throws the football into double coverage. The receiver was not open, and now Sanford coming up with a big pick. Huge turnover, 3:38 remaining here in regulation.
Hackett, what a great play by Ray Hackett. He was able to hold on to that football after getting popped by his own teammate and thought it came out, but it did not. And the turnover the other way. And again, Thornton Academy throwing on that 3rd and long. We both would prefer to see them keep it on the ground there. Toulouse goes to the far side of the field. And Matthews going to throw the little short ball. Gets Jones, and Jones taken out of bounds at the 30. 5-yard pickup on first down. Stops the clock with 3:32 to play.
That's just a decoy because you know they're going to be going back to Toulouse. And really, with the size advantage of Toulouse over Mercier, you would think that that would be a hookup that they would have been able to go to more here this afternoon. But really, with the exception of a couple of times, they haven't really hurt the Trojan defense.
Pitch out to Little. He finds a seam. Look out. Mercier, the only one that could have brought him down, does. A first down there. And now with the clock moving, Sanford, one more first down, can really take the ball out of Thornton's hands for the rest of regulation. If the Trojans can hold here, they still will have a chance to score and end it before an overtime would be forced. But Thornton Academy can ill afford to give up another first down if they want any kind of field position and any kind of time remaining on the clock. First down and 10. And the draw play to the fullback Kalman. Oh, good for about 3. Jones comes to the near, Toulouse to the far. Kalman now in motion, and the pitch is this way for Little. Little again finds that seam, dancing, and he'll have another first down out to midfield. And Little able to get enough of a break to regain his strength and composure, and he's now a factor on this last drive of the 4th quarter.
Topham does his job, forces Little to cut it up to the inside, but really no linebackers there to fill that hole.
And Thornton Academy now in a guessing situation. They don't know if Sanford's going to pass or run, and it has their defense in disarray right now. Matthews has been effective enough in the air on the last couple of drives that Thornton is now concerned. Little scampers through a small hole. He'll have about 3. The clock hits the 2-minute mark now remaining in the 4th quarter.
Sanford's going to have to go up on top with under 2 minutes to play.
I believe they have 2 timeouts remaining. They've used 1, I know for sure.
I don't know what they have for a kicker, but he's definitely going to be kicking the ball into a pretty stiff wind.
Toulouse comes to the near side, and Justin Allen again called upon. Counter fumble! Trojans got it!
Oh my.
Trojans got it!
Oh my.
A bad exchange in the backfield, and Thornton Academy somehow comes up with the turnover and the pastry back with 1:29 to go. The ball right at midfield. Do they have enough time?
They need about 30 yards right now to give Andrew Tripp a chance. Don't forget, the wind at his back. We know his range is about 45 yards.
Oh, they got to be careful here, too, that they're not careless with the football and turn it back over. Again, it's Thompson. I'd like to see a Nathan Demers check in, and here he comes as soon as I say that. And let's get that young man wide. And if Sanford's not aware that he's in the lineup, that could really be a big benefactor for the Golden Trojans.
And it has to be something quick before Sanford has the opportunity to pursue on that side of the field. A quick pitch.
He's in slot left formation. And it is the pitch, and there is some room out there. Oh, it closes up quickly. He ran right into the back of one of his players, and the Trojans will have to use a timeout here. Time taken with 46 seconds left. It's now a 3rd and about 3, and that play looked like it was going to go for a lot of yardage, and Demers just ran right up the back of his 2 blockers out ahead of him, and unfortunate in that situation, because if that wasn't the case, he could have definitely had enough to pick up the first down and maybe a lot more. But now 3rd down and 3. Obviously, you're thinking 46 seconds, but you got to get the first down first. That's the thing you got to take care of first and foremost.
Definitely so, and once again, although only 46 seconds on the board, I would prefer to see Thornton Academy keep the ball on the ground, as you said, pick up that first down, and then worry about clock maintenance. They do have 2 more timeouts in the bank.
I would put the Trojans in the I formation again and go Demers pitch and bring him to the near side of the field, the wide side of the field here, and have him go to his left. He's preferred and done most of his damage running to his right, but you would think he could still do something to his left. Sanford, I don't think, would expect another pitch again, and Demers certainly just maybe needing a few carries to get in his groove here. He's not quite ready to exploit that, but let's see what the Trojans go for here. Again, it's 3rd and short. They need the first down, but they need yardage to get within Andrew Tripp's right leg. Demers not in the lineup, so that play is not going to develop. They send Soroyce to the far side, and they do come in double slot formation. True in motion. Thompson spinning, fighting. He'll have the first down.
All effort on Thompson's part. He was hit right at the line of scrimmage and picked up the first down.
Thornton's got to go in a hurry here, and they're moving the chains and has the clock stop while they set the chains. Clock not moving. It should have. Trojans gained about 4 seconds there. Mercier getting outside, trying to stay on his feet, and trips down inbounds. He wanted to try to get out of bounds. He should have been trying, but he gets it down to the 30. It'll be 2nd and a couple. The Trojans now do not use a timeout.
Chris would have been better to take a couple of less yards and get out of bounds on that play.
And they spike the ball to stop the clock. It'll be 3rd and a couple now. The Trojans, I believe, still have, well, they must only have 1 timeout left. That's all I can figure why they would have not used a timeout there. That's one of the things in high school football that we have yet to encompass into our broadcast is keeping track of timeouts. We try to do it mentally, and usually it's fairly easy with only 3 timeouts, but the way teams use timeouts through the course of a half, they don't save them all for the end usually. It's hard to recall, but I'm guessing they only have 1 because they want to save that for the potential call to And now we have an official's timeout. I don't know what the conference was about. 3rd and short. Pitches to Demers, reads it up inside, and he slipped just as he cut inside. He should have the first down. The clock's not stopping. It should stop. For the 2nd consecutive week, we could be heading to overtime.
Kind of looks that way right now.
The officials should have been quicker to stop the clock, although Thornton did gain about 4 seconds prior a couple of plays ago, so maybe evening off things here. But when a play comes down and you're that close to a first down, you got to take a measurement and see where they stand. They got it by about the width of a dime.
Okay, right now, Jay, would be a 46-yard kick.
And Dr. Tripp told us. Officials should have been quicker to stop the clock, although Thornton did gain about 4 seconds prior a couple of plays ago, so maybe evening off things here. But when a play comes down and you're that close to a first down, you got to take a measurement and see where they stand. They got it by about the width of a dime.
Okay, right now, Jay, would be a 46-yard kick.
And Dr. Tripp told us that Andrew Tripp's length is 45, so maybe they need 1 more yard. But again, I don't know if the Trojans have a timeout or not. They're saying they took a timeout. So now you're in trouble. You've got to throw the football and get out of bounds. If you don't, the game's over. You won't have time to line up and run another play. The officials here in this arena are not as efficient and used to moving the chain, stopping the clock, resetting, and all the stuff they do in, of course, collegiate and professional football. 12 seconds left, the timeout on the field. We'll take a timeout. Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard, Thornton Academy 7, Sanford 7, back after this.
Main Glass is the first place you should call when you're looking for expert auto glass and sunroof installations. Our trained professionals are NGA certified technicians, equipped with the latest tools to do the job right for you. Our customer service staff can handle your insurance claim, arrange a time convenient to your schedule, with local pickup and delivery of your vehicle if needed. And in most cases, we can do the work the same day that you call. At Main Glass, when we say we do it right for you, we mean it. Right for you.
Hi, this is Bill O'Neill, owner of Bill O'Neill's House of Rock and Roll, Route 1 in Saco. For the past 7 years, we've been your local music store. No need to leave town to find the music you want. Great selection, good prices every day on CDs, tapes, and records. Be sure to check out our large selection of used CDs with over 1,000 titles to choose from. We're open daily, 10 till 8, Sundays noon to 5. Major credit cards accepted. Come in. Bill O'Neill's House of Rock and Roll, Route 1, Saco.
Well, it comes down to this. First down and 10, the ball at the 29-yard line. 12 seconds left, and I'm not sure if the Trojans do or do not have a first down. Tony Ryan thinks they do. If they do, they can do a lot of things here. Throws to Mercier, and he's ripped down face mask. The timeout is called, but the Trojans lose 3 yards on the play, and now they're in.
That's a dangerous play right there, because if Little, I think it was Little who was out here, the linebacker, whoever it was, if he cuts in front of Mercier, there's an awful lot of celebration going down on the Sanford sidelines.
I don't mind the fact that they fired out to Mercier, but I wouldn't have thrown it behind the line of scrimmage. I would have thrown it a yard or two down the field and had the, I mean, I don't think you can pass and then have him pass again like they've tried before. I don't think Sanford's going to be fooled in that situation.
Well, right now, obviously, the field goal is not going to be
attempted. It does not look it. It'd be a 50-yarder. We saw, I'm trying to remember the Robitelli of Sanford, or Robitaille, the French pronunciation, kick a 51-yarder for the Redskins up at Cobb Stadium about 5 years ago. The Trojans lose 5 yards on that play, and that's not the greatest of plays right there. You do not, the one thing you don't want to do is lose yards, and that's what happened to Thornton Academy.
Well, now I think they're just going to take one shot in the end zone, and if that doesn't work, well, I want to see another overtime.
Or you can just do a quick out to the short side of the field and maybe get out of bounds in 5 seconds. And I'm telling the officials to make sure they watch the clock, pick up 10, 15 yards, and well, it's going to be to the end zone. Duranzo airing it out, a man out there. Could be pass interference. Do we get a call?
I'll tell you what, you're not going to get that call in that situation, but that defender was not looking back for the ball.
Oh, no, there was some definite interference going on down there. So Royce asking for it. Mercer came over to ask for it, but that's going to do it in regulation. The Golden Trojans, for the second consecutive week, will head to overtime, and we'll take a break and come back. Amazing. The Sanford Redskins have come to Hill Stadium and played themselves a football game, and now it comes down to 4 plays from 10 yards out for both teams, and whoever comes up with the most points wins. And we saw last week, it all came down to a missed extra point. We'll take a break and come back with our coin toss in overtime right after this.
Nothing's easier.
It's the look you've been looking for.
Nothing's easier.
It's the best paint in the business.
Nothing's easier than easy elegance.
Electric colors, brighter whites. Indoors, Easy Elegance Paints makes it easy to brighten a home, while American Classic exterior paints make a house a home.
Nothing's easier than easy elegance.
Jay Harper and Marc Paquette back with you at Hill Stadium in Saco as we get set for overtime for the second consecutive week. The Golden Trojans are now very familiar with this, and hopefully you folks at home are as well. The thing comes down to this coin toss because most teams prefer, if they win the toss, to go on defense first and try to make the offense put the pressure on that first team. That happened against Thornton Academy. They came out last week, lost the coin toss, but scored, kicked the extra point, and put the pressure back on Marshwood. Marshwood answered the call with 2 running plays in a row from their big fullback, and then the extra point tried to tie it and send it to another overtime. Was missed, and Thornton Academy came away with a 1-point victory. Trojans, again, I believe, have lost the coin toss, so not a big deal as far as experience goes and what Thornton did last week, but it still is. It's a definite momentum thing, and it's a mind game, and you prefer to start on defense and put the pressure on that team with the ball first.
And if you remember, we had this discussion last week, and we said, on the other hand, right now, if Thornton Academy comes up and scores the touchdown now, the pressure is right back on Sanford because they can ill afford to make a mistake. And last week on first down, we saw Nathan Demers break it to the outside and get into the far side of the end zone.
Well, you think Sanford, they scouted that game. They'd be thinking that if Demers comes into the lineup. But if I'm Coach Agresti, I go with it. That play has just missed on a few occasions. It hasn't worked for the big yardage that Thornton would like to see it, but it's very, very close to having done so on a few occasions. But Demers is not into the offensive set on first down. Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard here, 7-7. We're in overtime. And Duranzo brings them out. Double slot formation on first down. And it's Thompson with a little bit of a jitter move, and he'll get about 4 yards. In this situation, you got 4 downs to get there. There's absolutely no pressure. If it was a regular part of a contest, you wouldn't be feeling any pressure with a 2nd and goal from the 6. So in this situation, you should feel the same thing. Keep it simple and keep it on the ground and keep pounding the defenders back. And within 4 plays, more than likely, 6 points. Chris Duranzo into the end zone. And the Trojans have done it in 2 plays. Last week it only took them 1. And Andrew Tripp checks on to the field, and the all-important extra point try.
Duranzo once again makes a nice read, fakes the ball to Thompson on the inside, and when he sees no one at the corner, cuts it straight up the field, puts his head down about the 1, and breaks the play into the end zone.
I wasn't sure that Duranzo still had the ball. I thought he might have given it to Thompson. That's why it took me a while to make the call on that. Thornton shifts over, and Duranzo the holder. Good snap. And another fine kick. So the Trojans have done a lot of things very similar to what they did last week. They fall behind in the first half, take a 7-0 deficit into the locker room. They come out and score in the third quarter, tie things up, then have a few big chances late in the game, but can't come up with any points. They go to overtime. This time they score in 2 plays instead of 1. They kick the extra point. They're up 7. So this is almost a carbon copy of last week's performance. Thornton Academy maybe make it a little less nerve-wracking on everyone here at Hill Stadium by shutting down the Redskins with no points and not putting it into an extra point try. Jones goes to the far side, Toulouse to the near. The pitch is to Little. Little stuck. Oh, he fights forward for a couple. I don't know where they'll spot him, but boy, did he get hit.
No whistle down on the field. Little just kept going. He was stopped at the 10-yard line.
Wow, he got a helmet in the head and was able to keep his balance. And now look, they're back up, moved the spot back a yard. A gain of 2 on the play, but he took a 3-yard loss and turned it into a 2-yard gain. A brilliant running performance again by Tom Little. 2nd and goal. The home crowd for the Trojans up and boisterous. Matthews to throw. Fires out, got his man. And there it is. Justin Allen slow to react and a bit of a surprise. The Redskins just got it down to the goal line, stopped, and Allen couldn't react. And the Redskins now have the decision.
The surprising part is when you're down, you can use the end zone, the back end of the end zone, as an extra defender. You shouldn't be giving that much of a cushion when they're that close.
Nice call there by the Redskins. You can't really fault Justin Allen that much. I mean, again, he just did not react quite quick enough, and a great timing pattern by Matthews at firing that ball. Or, you know, it's hard to stop a stop pattern no matter who you are. Deion Sanders not excluded here. If any receiver goes down 7 yards and stops and the ball's right there as he turns, not much a defender can do. Now the Trojans maybe look to do the same thing this week, and the Redskins call their own timeout here. And this is very interesting because Mike Fallon might be saying, I don't want to tie this up. I want to end it here. Do we win it, or do we send it to another overtime? And the Trojans got to be ready.
Well, if you want to follow the scenario of last week to a T, right now the Trojans call a timeout, and then he can hook it right.
But Sanford did call their own timeout on this occasion. Chris Boyes is in. Boyes 5'10", 160 pounds, and he's a junior. He missed a field goal attempt earlier in this contest in the first quarter. The Trojans got great pressure from Travis Roy in that one. It's down, it's kicked, and it's good. Boy, that looked like almost hooked wide on that one, didn't it?
It was a good, strong kick, though. Plenty of leg. And Thornton Academy actually had a nice surge right over center. Thought they were going to have an opportunity to put the block on that.
So now we switch it around. The Trojans will start on the defensive side, and Sanford will have it first, and the pressure comes back the other way. And the other thing that's kind of funny is how 2 teams can shut each other down pretty much throughout the contest, and then both teams score pretty relatively easy in overtime. And that was the same scenario last week down in Elliott versus Marshwood.
Well, only 10 yards to cover as opposed to, going the length of the field.
A reminder, at the conclusion of today's contest, we'll be picking our Gutsy Players of the Game, sponsored by Wagner's Market. Again, numerous candidates in this one. Trojans now have entered a second overtime. I believe that was a scenario last year, wasn't it, against Biddeford that they went to a second overtime in that one?
I was not in attendance last year.
Trying to remember, it was, I'm not sure what I'm recalling, but somehow Thornton Academy's on. They thought they're coming out defensively, and the Redskins are now in defensive position. You're supposed to flip-flop in overtime. The official's not able to pull this one together. We'll have a lengthy delay on this now, I'm sure. Village Inn Restaurant scoreboard, 14 apiece. Village Inn halfway in Old Orchard Beach, running a lot of great 2 for $9.95 specials Sunday through Thursday, and home of the best chowders and lobster stew in the area. And somehow the officials are still trying to figure this out.
Sanford is going to be going on offense.
Unless they've changed some rules over the last 4 or 5 years that we're not aware of. It's amazing that it takes this long to correct things.
The fact they're speaking with the Sanford coaching staff and giving an explanation. And here comes the Trojan defense.
Well, the Thornton coaching staff had it right. Straightened things out, and the defense comes out. The Redskins send both Jones and Toulouse to the near side, and they come out of the eye. It'll be Kalman out of the fullback position, a big surge forward. He's going to have 5, maybe 6 yards on first down. Both teams doing a great job at changing formations and opening things up with their formation. That formation had Thornton Academy thinking pass. They double receivers to the near side, and of course, if it's an I formation, you're thinking it's going to be Tom Little carrying the football. And instead, they come with the fullback, Kalman. He picks up 5 yards, 2nd and 5, and it's actually Vallely, number 35, in at tailback. So again, it'll be Kalman. Again, he has a hole. The Trojans able to stuff him at about the 3, maybe the 2. So now 2 plays. This could be a big play, because if the Trojans can shut him down here, you could force Sanford to go for maybe 3. But you would think Sanford, knowing that the Trojans are very capable of scoring 7, would go for the 6 points.
And up front now, the Trojans have to remember to stay low, create a lot of congestion. If Sanford chooses to run, not give the running back any place to go.
Let's see if Little checks in. He does not. So it's Kalman and Vallely. Toulouse comes to the near side with Mercier, sole man out here. Kalman off the right side. He has it. Nobody there for the Trojans on that right side of the defense.
Sanford going right off tackle. Kalman getting all 3 carries.
Well, the Trojans, again, they got to be aware of this as a defensive unit. You look in the backfield, you don't see Tom Little in there. That really limits the Redskins' choices. The Trojans have to be careful here, too, because Sanford could also fake and do something that would really put pressure on the Golden Trojans. That one low, and I believe it's no good.
Oh, my goodness.
So now the Trojans got to score and, again, got to convert. So Chris Boys has definitely struggled today with that foot. He's been hitting it low and really sailing the ball. And now Thornton Academy, ball maintenance, the big thing in front of you. Take care of the football, and you got 4 plays to punch it in. Right now, you'd like to see Thornton Academy spread out the defense and come with a quick hitter to Brian Thompson. and see if Thompson can rip off one of his patented 10-yard runs.
Got to get something positive on first down.
Double slot formation. Soroyce, the lone receiver, to the near side. It is Thompson. Thompson down to the 5.
And that's definitely what they're looking for.
I'd look for that number 22 still in my backfield. A lot of room to that right side of the field, and you've shown Thompson now, so they're thinking Brian Thompson. They come with a power backfield. Duranzo might be able to sneak it here. Thompson stays on his feet. He's in. He's in. We're tied at 20, and now it comes down to one Andrew Tripp extra point try.
Power backfield. Ryan True leading the way up the hole. Great job on the left side of the line. And once again, Thompson having a nose for the goal line.
Sanford uses a timeout here. So they try to ice Andrew Tripp, the senior place kicker. And of course, wide out. 20-20 in second OT here. And the Golden Trojans now need one extra point to win it. There is pressure here, obviously, but not as much pressure as was the case last week for JT Simons. His extra point would tie it to send it to another overtime. If he misses, the game's over, you lose. Now, if Andrew Tripp misses, they go to another overtime. So a bit more relaxing for the senior.
And after having seen him kick the football so far this year, Jay, he approaches his job the same way every time out. He's just going to go out, relax, and explode right through the football.
Well, I don't want to jinx any part of the extra point try here, but you got to talk about this, so how do you not say it? Of course, the snap, very important. We have not mentioned the snapper all year long. Why? Because he's been perfect. Years past, we've seen the kicking game of Thornton Academy struggle in the biggest of ways. Last year and the year before, I think it was the year before, really, really struggled. And it was, if it wasn't the snap, it was the hold. If it wasn't the hold, it was the kick. And, I mean, Thornton Academy could just not put the three of them together. So far this year, Thornton Academy has done all three things very, very well.
And then the line has to hold that line and not allow any penetration.
I'm trying to find out who the snapper is. I think it might be Heidish, or it could be Rondo. How many timeouts can you give someone in overtime? That's ridiculous. This is not good for football. I'm sorry. The rules committee people should take a look at this. When a team can use 2 timeouts in a row in an overtime 1 possession. He used 1 in the last overtime, so he's used 3 timeouts. I don't know. Unless you get 3 for no matter how many overtimes you go to, you get 3 like you do in a regular half of football, then I guess you have to live with that. But been watching too many professional football games.
Gotta ice him. And you know, Jay, really, last week, it did work to Thornton Academy's advantage using a timeout, perhaps getting into the head of the Marshwood kicker. But as I said, you know, the way that he has kicked the ball this year, the way he has approached his job as a kicker, I personally think he's going to drill it.
It comes down to this, folks, 20-20. And Andrew Tripp trying to keep the vision perfect for the Golden Trojans. Good snap, good hold, good kick. It's over. It's over. The Golden Trojans, for the second consecutive week, have won it in overtime. Well, the class of 1951, 1981, and all the other classes in between will leave very happy this afternoon. The Golden Trojans of Thornton Academy have prevailed once again in overtime, and once again, it's the foot of the senior, Andrew Tripp. Nails it true through the post. And Thornton Academy has moved to 4-1 on the season, and this builds character.
Well, these types of wins are important other than just throwing a W up on the board, because when you get into the playoffs, obviously you're going to come up against some tough teams, some close games, and now in these situations they're going to be able to keep their composure in the close games in the playoffs, and this will very much work to their advantage as the season progresses.
You got a feel for the Sanford Redskins. They are an outstanding football team, and if I'm in postseason play, I don't want to see them in the first round. Or would I want to see a Marshwood team in the first round? Second round, sure. First round, too many scary things could happen. But they played a great football game. Hats off to Mike Fallon and his crew. Tom Little, Zach Matthews, Pat Toulouse, just tremendous. And once again, an extra point comes down to decide this one. And I just hope the Portland Press Herald does not do what they did to one J.T. Simons last week by highlighting his miss that allowed the victory. I never really got to comment on that, but I thought that was just awful. And you have to say it. You don't pretend it doesn't happen, but that is in the article down somewhere in. It's not in one of the sub-headlines. And I really felt bad for that young man, how he could be picked out of a crowd. Many things you do in the course of a contest wins or loses the game, and you can't just directly point to that. I mean, it has a factor, and again, these are high school athletes.
And I was at the Biddeford-Marshwood game last night, wondering, would this kid be able to bounce back? And his kicks were ripped right down the middle after every touchdown. So obviously he's a smart enough kid and a tremendous athlete, good enough athlete to just forget about it, go out and kick the football.
Well, a great performance for the Thornton Academy Golden Trojans. They come away with a 21-20 victory here in double overtime. We'll take a pause and we'll come back with our gutsy players and post-game interviews with the stars of the game. Back after this.
Fritz's, a landmark in Arundel known for quality used tires and rims, now carries in stock 2 lines of new tires. Fritz's is proud to have an exclusive on the Tribune tire, reasonably priced with the manufacturer's 60,000-mile warranty. New tires at Fritz's are on the rim and out the door for one price, including mounting, balancing, and valve stem. Fritz's is also your undercar specialist, turning rotors and drums, doing custom exhaust, welding, brakes, shocks, and struts. Fritz's, 25 years in business and still getting bigger and better.
Welcome back to Hill Stadium, being joined by our gutsy players of the game, Andrew Tripp to my right, Jim Bouffard to my left. And just a tremendous game once again. Jim, I'll give you the chance to speak for the linemen. Finally, you're here to voice for them. But again, that offensive line just keeps getting better and better every week. And it seemed like you wore Sanford down in the second half, especially in that fourth quarter and overtime.
Yeah, we had a good week of practice, off the ball, every snap, trying to get pancakes every play. Our young guys are really stepping it up. They're really hitting hard. Travis Roy and myself, we're really taking control of our front line, and we're just getting better every week.
Now, as far as this game goes, you head to another overtime, and you guys are put in this situation again. What's your feeling here as you go into overtime for the second consecutive week?
It shouldn't be that way. It really gets scary. We could have put them away a lot earlier. We should have put them away. It shouldn't come down to that. Next week, hopefully, we can get this win, the W, without an overtime.
Now, you did a lot of things defensively. You're actually a defensive gutsy player of the game, although you do so much on the offensive side. But you've been seeing a lot more snaps on the defensive side, and you're starting to step up your defensive play here in this season.
Yeah, Rondo had a groin pull, I guess. So, I mean, I'm his backup, so they put me in for him because I needed him on offense more than I did on defense, and I had to do what I had to do.
Now, last year you played a lot of defense. Do you miss it this year, not getting as many plays on the defensive side?
Yeah. I guess they sort of lack I don't know, respect for me because of my ankle or something. Maybe they don't feel I can get the job done as well, but that's all right, though. I like playing offense.
All right, great. Staying over here with Jim, trying to ice down the kicker. It just doesn't work, does it? Andrew Tripp, again, week after week, kicking the extra points, none bigger than the one today in overtime. And how do you feel going in there for these kicks with the pressure coming down today? They take 2 timeouts to try to ice you. Do you even think about it?
Well, I mean, they took 2 timeouts, and everybody's like, "Oh, you nervous? Are you nervous? Don't be nervous." And I'm just like, "Yeah, well, I'm not nervous. I can handle it." I mean, I've done it. It's just like practice. I mean, same thing. Just kick the ball through the trees.
Now, Coach John Moran said last week the difference was you're not a soccer player. You are a football player now. He said you got the heart of a football player. How long did it take you to feel like a football player when you came out for football, this in your first season being your senior campaign?
Well, I mean, I went to football camp, and then we had captain's practice, and right away I felt like I was in place. That's where I should be. I mean, it's a great bunch of guys. They all pull together. It's a great team effort.
Now, late in the game. You guys are driving, you're on the move, and it looks like another 5 or 6 yards, and you'll have a shot at a field goal and a game winner. Are you thinking here, this is my chance to really shine and be the hero?
I know I can't kick him from 50 yards, but I mean, everybody was asking me like, can you kick him from this far? And I don't know, but I don't know, five more yards, yeah. Like, with the pressure on, I could probably hit it.
Now, of course, next week you guys travel and you play another night game. What's your thoughts heading to next week's contest against Lewiston?
Night games, we've only had one Noble, and you know the outcome of that. So we're Lewiston, I really don't know much about them, but hopefully we come out on top.
Now, Jim, another question for you. I mean, Brian Thompson, just an incredible performance again today. What's it like blocking for such a big, rough back that's able to find those holes and make things happen on his own as well?
Kind of makes us look good every once in a while because we'll miss a block or two and not go through with our plays, and he'll just run over people, make cuts, hurt them, punish. He does a job. He does a good job on that.
All right, guys. Great performance today. That's going to do it. Thornton Academy again with a second overtime win. This one 21-20 for Andrew Tripp, Jim Bouffard, Dennis Avery, Tony Ryan, Marc Paquette. I'm Jay Harper saying so long from Hill Stadium in Saco. We'll see you next week.
Wagner's Market, 188 Lincoln Street, Saco is your neighborly variety store with all your daily needs in one quick stop. The biggest and best subs in town, ice cold beer and soda, pizza, a fine deli selection, megabucks tickets, and daily specials. All ready for you in seconds for a speedy takeout. If you want to eat in, Wagner's has plenty of space for that too. Wagner's is infamous for its gut bomb sandwich, big enough to bomb any TA opponent or to serve to the entire TA football team, who's hungry for wins and Wagner's. 188 Lincoln Street, Saco, sponsor of the Gutsy Player of the Game.
And Andrew Tripp trying to keep the vision perfect for the Golden Trojans. Good snap, good hold, good kick. It's over. It's over. The Golden Trojans, for the second consecutive